argumentative. We find any and why are Black women so argumentative? We find any and everything to argue over except something constructive. In fact, we don't consider it a good time unless we've been arguing and fighting with someone over something. We argue in defense of being single mothers. We argue in defense of cursing every other word and being whores because the men do it too. And we argue against accountability for our own actions. And we hide behind God and Jesus to do that with. Only God can judge me. They define themselves by conflict and not by who they're building with. You'll find one or a whole generation of Black females fighting and holding grudges in any Black family in America. 14 years ago, my grandfather was in the hospital dying. All of his children came to the hospital, 6 men and 2 women, and they were in the corridor discussing his care. And it was the 2 females that got into an argument over my grandfather's care. And that devolved into an argument over who was his favorite daughter. And they haven't been speaking since. There's a TV show I watch called Boardwalk Empire. And on the show in, I believe, season 3, there is this ultra violent gangster named Gyp Rosetti. And it's said that he's so mean that he can find the insult in a bouquet of roses. That pretty well describes the average Black female today. And the sad part is we're proud of this. We're proud to be loud and argumentative and rude and turn around and call that foolishness a strength. And then when nobody wants to argue with us anymore, we'll yell, "You can't handle a strong Black woman." This isn't just a cultural quirk. This illustrates a fundamental difference between the way Black women handle conflict and the way the rest of the world does. No matter how inappropriate or petty the issue, we will find a reason to fight. And if she can't find one, she'll make one. Even if she knows what she's going to see she's not going to like, she'll go there anyway just to argue with people over their opinions. Go to any social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You'll find a Black female arbitrarily arguing with people that she does not know just because they're opinions. And the goal is never to come to a resolution. The goal is to just vent this never-ending cauldron of hate and anger and rage that's inside of her. I want you to take a look at something. I want you to watch this clip. It's a clip of an interaction between LeBron James and Mario Chalmers, also known as Rio. And I'll be right back.
Argument earlier, frustrated over some defense. James really got in his face. But then a short time after this argument, Rio, that's what they call Mario Chalmers. I was wrong, my bad.
That's great leadership. I tell you, when we talked about LeBron being a great teammate, I mean, obviously this guy is the king. And for him to look at that in that situation and say, hey, I was wrong, speaks volumes to his teammates and his coaches.
As a woman, I understood that clip to be a demonstration of Black male leadership. Look how quickly the situation escalated and then de-escalated. And one male was able to say to the other, "My bad, bro. I was wrong." I have a question for Black females. When is the last time you sat down, admitted you were wrong, and closed your mouth? See, LeBron understood that for the sake of his team, he should stand down and apologize for his outburst. And it has nothing to do with money or getting paid to get along well. The ability to stand down and apologize for poor behavior is a character trait. That is not something that comes with money. You have that or you don't. There are plenty of people with money who act stupidly. Black women as a whole, we do not lack the character to stand down, even when it's destroying our team. You continue to fight and yell and argue to our detriment. And your arguments are so misguided and backwards and downright stupid that Black men are openly discussing other races of women to build with. I know what someone's going to say. You're tearing Black women down. Now, what's your solutions? The solution is be quiet. The solution is close your mouth. The solution is stop arguing, stop fighting, let go of your anger, and be quiet. If you spent less time talking and actually listening to what the men are saying, you'd peep game. Because they're not telling you what they exactly want you to do, but they're telling you what they'd expect from you as a woman. And you're too busy being a hate monger and a brat to absorb it. Black men in general are tired of us. This argumentative thing you've got going, which, by the way, you don't pull with white men, is pushing black men away from you, and it's not getting you anywhere. This is one of the reasons we got a race full of baby mamas, and 50% of black women have herpes and no husband. At this point, black men are just tolerating us. They love us. They want to produce black families. But let's be honest, we've been overrun by hood rat slut culture. And as a whole, we are an undesirable group of women. My question is, why? Why are you so angry? What makes you so uptight you can't let anything go? Everything you see, everything you don't like, you have to comment, you have to go ballistic. Why? If you see a comment online you don't like, you flip out on that person and everyone who agrees with them. The problem is you don't like yourself. We have the lowest self-esteem as a group. And the sad part is a lot of us have no purpose because we don't even know why we were born. How many black children do you know that were born for a reason other than mom got knocked up and didn't abort me? I don't care what white women do, and I don't care that white women do it too because their bastard baby rate is not 75%, so I don't care. We wander through life aimlessly. We have no direction, no legacy, no wealth, no decent maternal figure to teach us decorum or how to be sexually responsible, and no parents to leave us anything. With no point and no direction, we have all the time in the world to sit on the internet and argue and yell and scream and go on an hours-long tirade with people we disagree with. You only get one life. Why would you spend it arguing?
Hey, what's cracking, everybody? What is going on? This is Ed with Ed Travels. That video, and that's why I led off tonight's live with that video. I led off with that video because it spoke to me. That was the very first time in this era that we live in that I ran across a video, trying to get my airborne straight here. Who are all my airborne brothers out there? That I ran across a video that a sister was dropping gems, straight gems, straight gems. Big ups to her. Big ups to her. She dropped gems. You only got one life. Why are you going to spend that life arguing? What's happening, people? Again, Ed from Ed Travels. Good to see just a few people in the room. But tonight I wanted to do a wrap-up show. It's Sunday where you are. If you're in the Eastern time zone, don't know where you hit me up from. If you're here in the chat, let me know where you watching this from. Welcome. Thank you so much. I'm coming to you, as always, from Siem, Cambodia, up here in my Day in the Flow studio. I'm working on it. Just got a little, doing my little thing, trying to get my studio together.
reach a much larger audience. Now, for each of those
got my iMac and
searching for regarding these
my
topics.
microphones and all of that kind of stuff, just trying to, just trying to make it happen. But today I really wanted to talk about the community for one reason, among other things. I'm going to put the link in the chat in a little while for those who want to join me if you choose to. If you just want to listen, that's wonderful. It's glad. I love the dialogue. But earlier today when I posted the video, and I posted this video about that I was apologizing to black women. And there was a method behind my madness for posting this video. There was a method in my madness. I wanted to post this video because I wanted to, it was sarcastic. That was the purpose of the video. I wasn't apologizing. And if you took the time to watch the video, you would have seen that, I was not apologizing at all. I was not apologizing in this video. I simply was making a point. Okay? I was making a point. With that being said, I want to apologize to black women, the community, the modern black women. 80% of the children born in the black community are born to single mothers, but that's not your fault. That's 100% the man's fault. He decided to carry that baby to term. He decided to lay down, with somebody who, he had no intentions of marrying, But I think it was your womb that you gave to him to have that child. But okay, it doesn't matter because it's not your fault. Black woman, you have to take no accountability for that. That's 100% the man's fault. And then, you have the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and the Census Bureau, who've done these studies, and these studies were done by, I don't know, who are they? These scientists, these people that have been doing this for years and years, that show that black women lead the nation in some very interesting categories. But again, let me preface it. It's not your fault. It's the black man, it's your thyroid, it's, society, whatever it is. It's not your fault. You don't have to take any accountability, ladies. I'm on your side. I can't see how someone didn't see the sarcasm in that. I even had a brother blast me in the comments. Sat back and told me that he was going to unsubscribe from my channel because I guess because I'm bowing down to black women. Did you watch the video? Did you? I understand this is a long video. A lot of people don't have 15 minutes. I completely get that. What's going on, William Bird? What's going on, William Bird? William Bird, my man from Florida. JM, good to see you. JM is in the house. Ren, what's going on, my Philly brother? Of course. Mulatto, Vanguard. Exactly, bruh. And you heard what I said. If you sat there and you watched the little clip that I just played, I kept on saying, it's not your fault. You don't have to take accountability. Right? Exactly, Ren. Sarcasm is a lost art today. That's the reason why I did it. There's a method to my madness. Of course, it's their fault. Of course, they don't want to take accountability for that. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of got to me today, and I'm gonna show it a little bit later, not right now. And I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you the deadly, and I'm gonna say that word again, the deadly consequences of what happens with today's modern black woman. The deadly, and this is such a sad story. The deadly consequences that happen when women don't want to take accountability for their actions. How it destroys and affects an entire family and ruins lives. That's what really prompted me today. To all my man William Bird, much love, JM, Ren, Mulatto, Vanguard. To all the people that are watching, man, much love to you. Thanks for the support. I wanted to show that because it's so important. That's why I led off with, it was a 7-minute long video of that young lady, but she was breaking it down. And I want to play this video right here. I want you guys to see this.
Women, when it comes to the passport bros, you might ask, like, where did this start? Why is this going on? They say that they're dusty. They say they're losers. They're not worth keeping. So why are they speaking out about it?
Exactly.
Well, it's because they're projecting. They are upset because they don't feel desired. Men are not approaching women or playing games with women like they used to. They've taken the red pill. They've woken up. And quite honestly, if I was a guy or if I had a son, I would advise him to go overseas.
Wow. But see, those are the videos that the passport bro hater women refuse to show. See, those are the videos that they're not gonna show because she's not going along with the community. You know what I'm saying? These are the videos they want you to see. What are you? What did she say?
Influence me. I am my own person. I am a strong black woman. Influence me. I am my own person. I am a strong black woman. Influence me. I am my own person. I am a strong black woman.
I love that. What's going on, Rubber Band Man? What's happening, brother? Coming to me from Hampton Roads. What's going on in the VA, brother? It's good to see you. Yo, what's good? What's happening, Rubber Band Man? Like, you heard what she said. She said then told you that she's a strong black woman. What are you? Tell them again.
I am my own person. I am a strong black woman. It's me. I am my own person. I am a strong black woman.
Yeah, hey, Rubber Band Man. I was going to touch on that too. And let's go ahead. Thanks a lot for bringing that up. Let's go ahead and talk about Just Pearly things. I saw the video, and you guys can go check it out. It is all over YouTube. We all run in the same spaces. It's all on YouTube. It's we run in the same places. So to give you guys just a little background, Just Pearly Things did this video with Nick Fuentes, right? And let me see if I can real quick, since Rubber Band Man, thank you for that. And everybody went off about this part of the video where she was interviewing Nick Fuentes. And everybody who don't know who Nick Fuentes is, he's a devout racist. He's a devout, he's horrible. And basically, bruh, I really don't have the time right here to go through it because I really wasn't going to add that video. So I'm not going to waste time. But basically, to touch on what my man Rubber Band Man said. What's up, Lando? Lando, what's going on, brother? Salute to you. Salute, Lando. What's happening, bruh? And to a beautiful, strong, class of 1988, Pasadena High School. Just an absolutely lovely, wonderful woman, Miss Marlis Gordon. Always rode my bike up to your house. We hung out. We grew up together. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. That really means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's good. I've been watching you. Can't wait to get back to Pasadena so we can all catch up. I really can't. Lando, what's going on? CJ Jackson just got off the live with Pearly. I'm in the background listening. Good. Well, let me see. This was my whole thing about the Pearly controversy. I didn't jump in with both feet. Did it surprise me? A little bit. Because let's keep it real. People got really pissed off because you had a white girl. And I'm going to keep it 100 because anybody that watches my lives knows that I ain't got time to mess around. Just Pearly came from a very privileged family. She's in London. I watched the live with her in Obsidian where Obsidian asked her straight up big props to Obsidian Ali. Love watching you too, brother. Where he asked her, well, you know, who bankrolled, who funded your operation? Because if you look at her operation and you look at, she's got staff, she's got all the latest equipment, all of that. She's got what? I think she's got like 1 million subscribers, whatever. She said, yeah, my dad gave me the money. I ain't mad at her. If we had generational wealth, I'd help my kids out. Wouldn't you? I'm not mad at her about that. Now, I think it's total and utter bullshit what she said about slavery. The comments that she made about slavery were out of bounds. And in her apology, she admitted it. But let's be honest, the woman is out to make money. She's out to, and the thing is that we as Black people are so accepting. We're so loving. We accepted her with open arms. She featured Black people. She talked about stuff in the Black manosphere. I think she paid $1,000 for a consultation with Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, R.I.P. She knew exactly what she was doing, and look how it paid off. We talking about her now. And in this world that we live in this space that we live in on YouTube, negative coverage is just as good as positive, maybe even better than positive coverage. Controversy gets you clicks. Clicks get you monetized. Views get you money. First of all, I would have never had Nick Fuentes. Thanks a lot, Rubber Band Man. I really appreciate that. Big shouts out to Rubber Band Man. I really, really appreciate that, bro. $4.99 super chat with the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. The thing about it, man, is none of the suspects who complained showed up. There were all invited, not Dennis Berlin, Courtney Michelle, or Crimson Cure. Absolutely. Uncle D disappointed me because he's been going on and on about Just Pearly. This was your opportunity. You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me go ahead and give a clap to Just Pearly. Just Pearly, please. Let me give her a clap. I'm not giving her a clap, and I'm not giving her a pass, and I'm not giving her nothing like that for the messed up comments that she made. But we all make mistakes. Lord knows. If I got punished for all my mistakes and all things that I misspoke and the people that I hurt, I wouldn't be here right now. Compassion isn't feeling sorry for somebody. Compassion is loving somebody even though they've done something to wrong you. So let's get that straight. The woman stepped up to the plate, whether it's to save her business or not. It's not up to me to talk about what her motivation was for doing that. But she did. She said, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I would have never had that slimy ass Nick Fuentes on my platform to talk about nothing. We don't have nothing to talk about. Holocaust denier, sitting there skinning and grinning about Black folks making fun of colored people time and all of that. It was a huge F up, Just Pearly things. But let's move on. Let's move forward. See, all of a sudden, like Shed Sade, which I love, and I'm going to talk about her in a minute, the sisters that are actually showing brothers love. Cher Sade, you know, Danica Marie, Chantel Simone. These sisters that are actually women, modern black women that are talking about, you know, calling it like it is. Those are the ones, they should be the ones with 1 million subscribers. If you really want to get upset about something, that's what we should be talking about. Day in and day out, especially Danica Marie. I love her platform. Shay Sade really goes in with Shay Sade says she wasn't surprised. And what about the selective outrage? And how many people in here are wondering about the selective outrage when you got these little ninjas down in Miami shooting and killing each other, shutting down the city? Where was the outrage then? Huh? When was the outrage then? What's going on? Big shout out. Thanks for the $5 super chat from Blue Global. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us, man. I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. 99 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. What happened? Why do we have the selective outrage? Why are we just mad about this now? Because a white woman said something about slavery? Yeah, she was dead wrong. She was dead wrong. I'm not making no excuses for her. But am I surprised? No. I mean, somebody in the chat, please tell me when you got the memo that racism and discrimination was over. Huh? I didn't get that memo. We've made great strides as a people, but what happened after 8 years of Barack Obama that a lot of black folks didn't like? There were things that I didn't like. After 8 years of Barack Obama, not a single controversy, no porn stars, no impeachments, 2 impeachments. What happened after that? We got the Mango Mussolini got put in the office because white people were terrified that this brother was in office, and then all of a sudden they're going to lose their power. So they went to the total opposite side and put the Mango Mussolini in. Cheetos 45 himself. That should have showed you. Because the Census Bureau say by the year 2030, or maybe 2030 or 2040, that the white man is going to be the numerical minority in the United States. And they were terrified. So who told you that racism was over? I lived in Georgia. I lived in Atlanta, near the so-called Black Mecca. Go 40 miles outside Atlanta in any direction. I-20, east or west, 75, 85, north or south. Go 40 miles outside Metro Atlanta and see if you're not back in Deliverance. I was a fiber optic engineer for Quest Communications when I first got out of the military. And I worked up in Cartersville, Georgia. If anybody knows where that is, that's about 45 miles north of Atlanta, halfway to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hey, bruh, they holding on to their Confederate money because the South will rise again. Trust me. I got called an N-word to my face, and it wasn't out of love. They meant that. What's up, Rubber Band Man? Trump scared the system so bad they got him out of there. Yeah, man. Yeah, he was for himself, but Rubber Band Man, I'll say this, brother, and I love the conversation that we had the other night. I really love you opening up. I think more black men need to have conversations like you and I had. Big props to you. Much respect. The thing about Trump is Trump was always about himself. Trump showed you that from the beginning. He went into the whole presidential thing, and he kicked it off with the whole birther debate that Barack Obama was not born in America. He stoked the fires of dissension, of intolerance, of racism, of misogyny. He stoked the fires of all of that. He blew the dog whistles, the racist dog whistles, and they listened. And I'm going to touch on it real quick. Do you remember, how many of y'all remember right after Cheetos 45 got elected, all of these women, predominantly white women, marched on DC. It was the March for Women. It was the March for Women, right? And then it comes out that 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump, the same one who pushed for Roe versus Wade to stack the Supreme Court, because Merrick Garland, who's the Attorney General now, was the person who was supposed to be brought up during the Obama administration, nominated to the Supreme Court, and they wouldn't even vote on it. So they stacked it. But what did those white women do? You're absolutely right. Of course, he's a grifter. He's been a con man his whole career, Kevin 3905. It's good to see you back again, brother. Yeah, you know what? You have to vote for what helps you. I think if people really looked at what true Republicans and conservatives believe in, smaller government, lower taxes, things of that nature, most of us should be fiscally conservative. But I would put forth this fact, Rubber Band Man. The MAGA crowd is not Republican. The new Republican Party is not the Republican Party of Reagan by any means. I don't know what it is, but it definitely isn't that. And I just can't show no love for the man. The pink peace sleeve have exactly. Feminism now is starting to come back and bite women that bought into it. You know, when I hear all of this stuff about, Ed, you hate black women, you don't like black women. Listen, man. My grandmother, yeah, he did. He scared everybody more than everybody in DC. My grandmother poured herself into me. My grandmother ensured that I was not gonna fail. I'm the product of who I am because of a strong, proud, intelligent black woman with convictions that never gave up on me. My mother sacrificed, walked 19 blocks one way in Pasadena, California. She used to work at the courthouse, and she walked to work one way, 19 blocks, because she didn't have bus fare, but for one way so that I could have. My beautiful daughter that's about to graduate from college, doing big things. My beautiful granddaughters. Women like Marlis Gordon, who showed up on my live. Andrea Rhonda Carson, my love, even though she went to Muir. My love, all of these black women that, Darnell, Dana, CJ, all of these women that mean so much to me. How dare you say that I don't love black women? I just don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like your attitudes. You know what? I'm not going to get into but the thing for me is there's absolutely no way on God's green earth I vote for a molded tuna fish sandwich before I voted for him again. Period. I think he's a disgusting human being at his core. I can understand voting for your interests, and I'm not mad at you if that's what you decide to do. I agree Biden is a placeholder. Biden is a placeholder. But I would have voted for a molded tuna fish sandwich before I voted for the mango Mussolini. Period. I mean, that's just me. Hey, Mulatto, so you're a Cali guy too. And hey, Rubber Band Man, more power to you. More power to you. Still got nothing but love for you. And that's the beauty. We can agree to disagree. We can have civil conversation and still hug. And see, men do that. We can do that. Not just men, but any logical, adult, mature person can do that. There's nothing wrong with debate and dialogue just because you see things differently. But to get into this world, of what the community, which is what I see a lot, right? As soon as you say something to some of these black women, this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. You're absolutely right. It's all love. We just discuss our thoughts. Yeah, you know what though? I understand that, Rubber Band Man, but you know what? It's one thing for you to do what you got to do, but it's another thing not to abide by the rules of the Constitution. To enrich yourself, the emoluments clause. He made money. He profited illegally off of, first of all, let's keep it real. Left wing, right wing, they both wings on the same buzzard, and they just mess you over. Republicans do it nice. You see, Democrats come to your house and take a plate. They might sneak a beer or two. Republicans come in, take a plate, make 2 or 3 plates, grab a 6-pack of beer, take your bottle of Hennessy and squeeze your woman on the ass on their way out and say what you gonna do about it. That's the difference in the two. But neither one of them truly have your best interests at heart, in my opinion. See, Mulatto Vanguard says the community queens are shaming black men into voting for them. You know what? Again, not to get super political, the thing is this. In order, like I said on my earlier video, in order for shame to work, you have to care about the people that are shaming you. Do y'all remember? I don't know how many of y'all remember. I'm a little older, but do y'all remember in the South when they had that first pew in the front, the center's pew? I've seen it where sisters wore that little dress from the club last night. They wore it to church the next morning, and got all their thighs is not below the knee. And the mother of the church sees us sitting there, and you see the mother of the church get up. I ain't the only one. And the mother of the church get up and go back and get the little she goes back and gets the the little cloth and puts it over her lap. And in her way, she was shaming her, like, girl, don't be wearing that floozy stuff, you Jezebel, wearing all of this to church, acting like you ain't got no home training. You understand what I'm saying? In order for shame to work, you have to matter to me. If my mama was to sit back and say, Ed, I saw you live last night and I'm disappointed in you. Now that'll hurt because I care about what my mom thinks of me. If my granddaughters or my daughters were to sit back and say that to me, that would hurt. But some angry hyena that don't have nothing to do but shame, insults, and guilt tell me she's angry about something I said, kick rocks. I could really care less. You can't shame me. I use the analogy. I use this analogy. Football. Defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. If a team is in your division, you play them twice a year. So if you play them the first time and you run these certain group of plays and they don't work, then when you play them again later on that season, I would think logically you'd come with different plays. You'd adapt and try to overcome because the first playbook didn't quite work out the way you thought it would. But when it comes to the community, it's the same insults. It's the same BS. Crusty, dusty, no good, broke, blah, 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 blah. Tired of it. Tired of it. They don't even have the wherewithal. Trump is Frank Underwood in House of Cards. Yeah, I like that show. But they constantly come with the same stuff. If you don't care, if we are so bad, if we are so horrible, why is TikTok and YouTube full of videos of these angry women talking out of their fourth point of contact? And for all my airborne brothers, you know exactly what that is. When you jump out of a plane and you land, there's a thing called a PLF, a parachute landing fall. And you have 5 points of contact. And these are the places that you're supposed to try to have hit the ground so you don't get hurt. And they are balls of the feet, your calf, your thigh, your buttocks, and your push-up muscle. So you try to put your hands here and you fall like that. So the fat parts of your body hit the ground and you don't get hurt. And what was that fourth point of contact? The buttocks. And these feminist, angry women are talking out of their fourth point of contact. People are tired of it. You're tired of hearing it. Okay. So to give you some background, what happened was, sister commented, I get tons of comments on my videos. Happy, sad, I hate you, you the worst, most terrible person, love it, whatever it is. Yeah. You know, comes with the goods. You got to take the praise with the problems. Right? And she said, well, you know, black men should work harder to protect us. And I simply said, well, if I tried to protect you, if I tried to give you some advice, would you listen? Or would you overtalk me? And I said, well, I believe it would be the latter. I truly believe that you would overtalk me. I said, well, how about this? I'm 52 years old. I'm certified 100% disabled, total and permanent by the federal government, by the Veterans Administration. Post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, anger issues. I take medication. I talk to a therapist. And I don't have time to argue with you because it's bad for my mental health. So what I decided to do was just kick all of y'all to the curb that are talking this nonsense and get my passport and do like LeBron did and take my talent overseas. And her first word to me was, you ain't nothing but old, dirty, nasty, sorry coward. There we go. See, there we go. Back to the same playbook. Shames, insults, guilt, the need to be right. Immediately. And I told her, look what you just did. Look what you just did. What I just claimed you did, you just did. And it's really kind of sad and pathetic in a way. Do y'all remember when I did the live, I think it was like 2 days ago, what we really need as men is to simply stop speaking to or about these women and start discussing action plans to better ourselves and prepare for travel and go and where to go to and why. You're absolutely correct, brother. You're absolutely correct. And that's where I want to move. You're absolutely correct. 73905. And that's where I want to move my platform to. That's why I'm adding more content about life here in Cambodia, about similar places like Vietnam, when I showed the videos about, you know, where you can travel in Vietnam, where you can say how you can put that plan together to exit the U.S. or the West. That's what I like to focus on, honestly. But it seems like people keep coming back to this over and over and over again. And frankly, it's exhausting. Frankly, it's exhausting. That's a great thing, Rubber Band, man. Hit the road. But it's I asked y'all the other night, and I really wanted to know the answer to this question. Due to the fact that some part of me, a large part of me, still has love for black women, some, that I started to feel like, damn, man, is it really that bad? Is it truly that bad? Is it truly that bad? Is this a lost cause? And then a brother said, yeah, Ed, it is. They said, yeah, Ed, it's a lost cause. It's a complete lost cause.
Women from foreign countries better wives than the ones we currently have. Let's not limit it to Great Britain. In the West in general, are women better wives? Let's go for a guy. Banksy, what do you say?
Well, I've been recommending this for a long time, that men in the West, due to a myriad of reasons, should start looking elsewhere. I spoke to a gentleman in Australia about 4 years ago in regards to him. He was a pilot. He had all his house, everything paid, fully stacked. The man was rich, handsome, and generally, in that top, what you guys call the 10, 20%. And he categorically told me that when he is ready to get married, he is going to get married to a lady or a wife where he's going to find them either in Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, and a country like that. He's in Australia himself, very wealthy in Australia, but he will not bring his wife to Australia. He will marry her and he will stay with her and build a life in that country, because he knows that if he brings her to Australia, ultimately the feminists in Australia will corrupt her. And thus, she'll be looking for the exit door within a few years, possibly a visa situation. So in order to counteract any of that, he will marry in his 50s, but he will keep her in that country where the laws are much more favorable in the divorce courts to the men.
Wow. You said a lot. And to touch on what Kevin said earlier, pretty much sums up what my situation is. There is no way. The first time I saw one of these videos of somebody, quote unquote, clapping at Passport Bros, and women said, all the woman wants is the green card, and once she gets back here, she's going to take you for everything you got. I simply said, why would I bring someone back to the matrix that I left? Why would I go find someone to let her come back and hang around with the hyenas? See, do y'all remember? And I'm going to see how many people in here, and I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you remember this. How many people remember Raw by Eddie Murphy? How many people remember Raw by Eddie Murphy? His stand-up. Let me see if I can find that clip. Fair use, y'all. Right? Remember he talked about umfufu. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all remember that? All right, people. All right. I found it. Found it. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for sticking with me. And you talking about this is what? How many years ago was this? How many years ago was Raw? How many years ago was Raw when he was talking about this?
What? Because I ain't getting caught. I refuse to get caught out there. Fuck that. And I'm bringing home and lock up in the house. You go off to Africa and get you a bush woman, you can't let her mingle with American women because they'll change that shit up. American women stick together. Last thing they want to see is you got some trained bush bitch in your house. They will catch her by herself in the kitchen and throw a monkey wrench in your whole program. As soon as they get alone, they'll be like, I can't stand it. You be running behind him doing everything he tell you to do. Who do you think he is? You ain't no God. You a human being. You ain't supposed to treat nobody. This house is too big for one person to be cleaned up. Why don't you leave? You always crying. Why don't you just leave it, nigga? Oh, you know something, girl? Do you know you can take half his money? Did you know you can take half his money? Did you know that? Did you know you entitled? He didn't tell you entitled to half? Oh, he only told you half the story then, girl. You can take half the money, the car, the house, the children, all the money he got. You can buy all the zebras and bones you want. Go back home in style, girl. You don't have to put up with this shit and get your hair done right. Cut that big afro shit off and go back home to Africa in style. Who the hell do you think he is? Let me tell you something else about Eddie Murphy. That motherfucker ain't nothing but a Oh, hi, Eddie. How you doing?
You see what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Why would you bring her back? Now, you talking about this has to be at least 30 years old, right? 30, 40 years old, right, Kevin? Right, Kevin? You're absolutely right. He talked about them, right? That's crazy. He talked about them. So why would you bring her back? Why would you bring her back to be corrupted by this feminism? Why would you do that? Back to Kevin's comment, feminism, yeah, it's part of systems. They're catering to women because they want their votes. Feminism has been legislated out in the U.S. And so, yeah, because they also need their money. That's why you have the Dr. Umar Johnsons. You got all the mega church pastors. You got all of these people, my queen, this and that, put them on a pedestal because they in their pockets. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get flagged for that, but we'll work it out. Fair use, fair use. We'll work it out. Thanks a lot, Rubber Band Man. YouTube is flagging because they're gonna try to take it, but they're going to sit back and they're gonna corrupt her. You're right. It is accurate. It is accurate. You're absolutely correct. It is accurate. Yeah, it came out in 1987. He was sitting there telling you that then. He was sitting back telling you that then. And look how it's coming to fruition now. It's coming to fruition right now. Why would you bring her back into this? Because the times have changed. The times have changed. And for a lot of, and the thing is like to go back to the comment that Kevin said earlier, that men get a plan. Okay? And I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there. Right? I'm gonna put this disclaimer. I don't mind answering any question about relocating to a different country. I will do anything in my power, in my ability, to help you make that move out of your current situation. I don't have a problem with that. But also be realistic. And I want to give this caveat. There is no relationship or marriage utopia in any country in this world. There is no utopia. You got women that are going to try to scam you, get you, no matter where you go. Granted, the court system might not be nearly as unfair to the man in the country that you're in as it is in the West. I can speak on the Philippines and most of these countries in Southeast Asia. You can't own land. You know, if you book a consultation with me, there are ways legally that you can protect yourself. Because as a foreigner here in Cambodia, I can't own property. But there is a way legally that you can set it up so that your spouse or whoever you marry cannot sell that property without your permission. And it's the closest thing to having a hard title or deed to that property. It's going to cost you a little bit, but you can do it legally. And I'm not going to go into it now, but there's a way that you can do that. But don't get this idea in your head that you're going to magically leave the West and everything is going to be, peaches and cream, because it's not like that. The way that relationships work, it's just not like that. Okay? It's not like that. So you have to make that decision for yourself. What's good for you? Back to my man, Kevin, 3905. If you're truly ready to make that move, it first starts with, pick your top 3 countries that you would like to move to. Okay? What are the things that you like? Do you like the beach? Do you like it sunny? Do you like all 4 seasons? Do you like the food? Do you do a little research about the culture? Right? This is all stuff I talk about in my consultations. And if you're interested in one, just simply email me here, simceretravel@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you. And this is what you do. I do 30-minute consultations and 1-hour Zoom video consultations where we talk about housing, internet, working remote, visas, the whole thing. But say you pick those 3 countries. What is the visa process like? How easy is it to get a visa? More importantly, how easy is it for you to get a long-term visa? Not just a 30, 60, or 90-day tourist visa. Like for me, I'm here on a retirement visa. And that retirement visa prevents me from working. I can't be here on a retirement visa and have a work permit. It's either or. That's how Cambodia works. I have to show them that I have enough income to take care of myself. And this is another reason I picked Cambodia. Thailand had a requirement of something like $20,000 in a bank account, like I don't know what you call it, like an account, for you to have that 20 bands in there. And that has to stay in there when it's, you at least have to have 20 in there when it's time for you to renew your long-term visa. Cambodia, I pay $297 a year. I write a letter. I request a retirement visa. In 7 days, I got a multi-entry visa for 1 year. Easy breezy. I don't even have to go to a government office. I just go to my travel agent. They take care of it for me. So your visa, the country, do you want the beach? Do you want the mountains? Do you want it, do you want it to be a metropolitan area like Bangkok? Say, for instance, you want to go, or like here in Cambodia, do you want to live in Phnom Penh, the capital city? Do you want to live in Kampot, which is about an hour and a half, a lot smaller? Do you want to live here where I live in Siem Reap, where the pace of life is a lot slower? It's temple town, it's tourist town, it's cheaper to live here. Do you want to go down to Koh Rong? Do you want to go down and live on the beach? Do you want to live in the islands? Those are the type of things that you need to think about. Are you retired? Is your income you're going to live off of enough to sustain your lifestyle, including emergency funds? Do you have any health issues? I know this might be a little boring, but Kevin, I'm talking about what you asked about. Do you have any health issues? What is the healthcare system like? Like here in Cambodia, you can get medication from the pharmacy without a prescription, where you need a prescription in the States, where the overall healthcare is not nearly as good as the US, but you're only a 50-minute flight from Bangkok, which has world-class healthcare. Are you going to find an expat healthcare insurance company to help, offset some of the costs because you're going to have to pay for that out of your pocket? Those are the type of things that you need to look at. Also look at the dating scene. What's the culture like? What is their views on marriage and things of that nature? See, those are the things that I would want to build Air Travels to really talk about. But there's some times when those hyenas, they draw you in. They draw you back in. They bring it back to you, and it's frustrating to get attacked sometimes by that. But those are the type of things that you need to look at if you're looking to travel or move. Those are the things that you need to look for. And I'll be more than happy to help you do that. If that's what you like to do. I would be more than happy to do that for you. But with that being said, here is, and I can't believe it. There was a story that I ran across today that truly broke my heart. It broke my heart, y'all. And this is this is a story about a young brother who lost his life. I think this happened like 2 days ago. This happened like 2 days ago in Columbus, Mississippi. And I'll go ahead and I'll share that with you now. Oh. As you can read, Mississippi woman, and there's her photo. Mississippi woman accused of killing man on Facebook Live. Now, I saw this last night, and all you got to do is Google it. You'll find it. And they've got the Facebook Live video and everything. But to give you a synopsis of what happened, this Khadijah, I think her name is, let me go ahead and put this up here now. Fair use. Let me go ahead and put this up now. Her name, 28-year-old woman. Woman was arrested for allegedly shot and killed a man in a Facebook Live in Lowndes County on Saturday. Happened Saturday, March 25th. Said they got a call for domestic violence around 7:42 a.m. Found that a 28-year-old man who lived in a home had died of a single gunshot wound. According to the sheriff's department, the victim and 28-year-old Khadijah Michelle Brown were in an argument that turned physical. Well, that is some BS. No, it didn't turn physical. I'll tell you in a minute. Brown allegedly shot the victim, which officials say was captured on Facebook Live. Brown was arrested and charged with murder and booked into the Lowndes County Adult Detention Facility. Brothers, this was tragic. I watched the video. And basically, she was married to the guy, or at least the video say that they were married. And happily in love. She even showed off a picture of how he upgraded her wedding ring. Then a couple of days later, there's a video, there's a post on her Facebook page where she called the guy, the unfortunate guy who passed away, who got red rummed, that he was bisexual, if you know what I mean. And then she turns right around after saying that. She makes a post saying that he was cheating on her with other women. So now I'm confused. Is he AC/DC? In the words of, Fred Sanford? Or is he cheating on you with another woman? Which one is it? Well, as you watch the video and you listen to the video, she is antagonizing him. He's ironing clothes. He's on his phone. He's trying to leave. It's very clear that the brother's trying to get out of the situation. She keeps hitting him, picking at him, trying to take his phone. He said, look, you're not going to get my phone. Leave my phone alone. But she keeps prodding. Now, thrown into the mix, you can hear an older woman's voice in the background. And she's instigating. Yeah, girl, you right. Blah, blah, blah. She's older. You can clearly tell she's older. I don't know whether that was his mother or her mother or whoever it was. But the sad part is you can hear kids too. They had 4 children. 4 children that were there. She's antagonizing. She's picking at him. And I even heard the woman say, and not verbatim, but basically she said he ain't going to work, even though he go to work and he does all of this, and he ain't going to work right now. So obviously the brother taking care of the house and taking care of the kids, but old girl Khadijah allegedly is still picking at him. She's still messing with him, brothers. You know what I mean? And this brother's like, no, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I don't know whether she went and got the jammy, whether the old lady saw her go get the piece, because all of a sudden, her whole attitude changes. And she says, girl, leave him alone now. Leave him alone. Blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of curious to me, like, okay, you went instigating, but now all of a sudden you like, leave him alone. And now you can tell it's getting worse. She's picking at him even more. The screen goes black, and all of a sudden you hear the shot. And the first words out of the young lady's mouth, who allegedly fired the shot, her first words were, I don't want to go to jail. And you hear the kids screaming. And her first words were, I don't want to go to jail. I'm putting the link into the chat if you want to come on and holler at me. Rubber band man, you're absolutely correct. Condolences to that man and his family. Because that was truly unnecessary. You're right, Kevin. That's sad as hell. Completely unnecessary. But let me tell you the part that really burned me up, bro. Let me tell you the part that really burned me up. And again, it goes back to no accountability. It goes back to the community, the sisterhood. Let me tell you what the first two comments were from black women after she did what she did. Guess what the first two comments were? The first comment was one sister saying, "Oh, she must be suffering from post-traumatic." She didn't even say traumatic. She said post-dramatic syndrome. You couldn't even get it right. It's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. She said dramatic syndrome. Excuses. Can't go against the sisterhood. Even though she just red rummed her partner, father of her 4 kids. Even though she just red rummed him, still no accountability. Then the next comment was, maybe she didn't know that there was one in the chamber. Maybe it just went off. Rubber band man. She said, what? She said, I didn't know. She said, what if she didn't know that there was one in the chamber? My question is, why you go get a gun? What was so bad about this situation that you had to introduce a weapon? And then not only that, but then take the man's life. It is so toxic. Again, see what happens when no one takes accountability. Rubber band man, what's happening, brother? What's going on? This, yeah, you're right, Kevin. The sisterhood is strong. The delusion is real. It's over, brother. I mean, when I hear stories like that, I have to go with you. I have to agree with you. They are out of control and refuse it. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for those kids. I'm a combat veteran. I've seen people get shot. I've seen that happen to people. I can't imagine what it's like for those poor kids. And then the audacity of that woman, that the first words weren't, "I'm sorry." Not that that would have changed anything. The first words weren't, "Oh, what did I do?" You could hear the panic in her voice. But her very first words were, "I don't want to go to jail." And I'm curious now. I'm going to follow up on this story. Because I'm curious to find out what the community and how the community is going to sit back and make excuses for this. Because there is no excuse. Again, you can check in the chat. I just put in the link if you want to come on and chop it up. It's fellas, like my man Eric said, I talk to fellas every day. I talk to brothers every day. I just saw the private chat.
I'm in now. Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. What's going on, Rubber Band, man?
Oh man, just long day, man. You know what I'm saying? Went to my first SGI Buddhist meeting today and came back. Came
You
back
said
today.
Buddhist?
Yeah. I'm joining the SGI Buddhist temple and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. I live in Cambodia. It's 98% Buddhist.
Yeah, man. I went to that today. It's been a slow process to get there. Came back and did some paperwork for a job and listened. Went on the panel for the Just Pearly thing and
Well, give me your thoughts on that. I didn't
well,
watch the whole thing. Give me your thoughts.
you
I'm
know what,
curious to
man.
hear.
You know what? I am, brother. I am. Okay, first, let me put this out there. I have a lot of respect for Dennis Burley, a lot of respect, but I was disappointed in him today because
Me too.
he did a live stream for about 2 hours on Just Pearly, and he was invited by Obsidian. Now, I expected Courtney Michelle and those done Danica Marie, and not Danica Marie, or I expected Courtney Michelle, Danica Marie, and Kim and Crimson Cure not to show up. Especially Courtney Michelle. I didn't see her doing that because Courtney ran from the SYSBM the interview. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
She was proposition. Look, I will get you and Mad Bus Driver and Baba Tunde on the neutral field, and you can ask them questions. And Courtney Michelle ran from it, so I didn't expect her to show up.
I
I
got you.
didn't, and I was disappointed in Dennis Burley and Crimson Cure. And I was on Dennis Burley channel, and I'm gonna answer your question a couple of days ago, and I put into the chat. I said, look. I said, Just Pearly paid Kevin Samuels $1,000 a couple times. You know what I'm saying? To Don critique her and clean her channel and help her. Basically clean her up. No,
Yeah.
no, Kevin cleaned her up, and it seemed like she took what Kevin taught her, she applied it, and she's the one with 1 million subscribers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Courtney Michelle, the nigga, I don't know about the nigga. I know Courtney Michelle said she's on a group chat with Kevin, but she never put money on it. And I think what it is now, they're jealous because Kevin's gone, and they missed that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it
Okay.
wrong. I get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just Pearly is trying to expand her, her interview clientele. She, you know what I'm saying? She's still trying to relationship. She's trying to expand it. As you expand, you want to bring on different people to change it up. I think,
Exactly.
I think that even though she says she turns that over to people that she trusts to handle that, I would have to tell her that's bad. That's bad business ownership. You know what I'm saying? I understand you trust these people, you hire them, you trust them, but you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta say, hey, look, nah. Not saying that once again, I believe freedom of speech, but it's certain people you just don't want to bring on. Or if you do bring on Nick Fuentes, you want somebody there as a counterbalance to him.
You're absolutely correct.
Right.
I agree with you 100%.
Now,
Yeah.
what happened was Jason Black didn't show up either. He was invited on. And all these people, even Dennis Perlin, they cut and snipped certain things. But when Obsidian played the full thing, you got a chance to hear the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it just shows it's a lot of jealousy. So what the hyenas do is they send their maggles to go do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And I lost all
Yeah.
respect for Crimson Cure and them because I know I didn't respect Courtney Michelle from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But they sent their maggles out to do the dirty work, and now that everybody is seeing Obsidian play the full context of the interview, I know they all looking bad right now. So of course, there's the saying in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? The wicked flee when no one pursueth.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And see, none of them showed up. I was very disappointed in Dennis Perlin. Like I got nothing against the brother. The only problem that I had with this passport brother movement is you got these brothers coming in hollering they passport bros, but they trying to dictate to where brothers are going. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dennis Burton, this wasn't all respect to the brother. He keep trying to dictate, tell brothers, well, man, you can go to Africa. Africa. He keep hammering Africa, Africa. And a lot of them are trying to mix this pro-black movement, pro-black stuff that they really got deep down inside with the passport thing. You know what I'm saying? And just Pearlie's is just Pearlie is the benefactor of Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are upset and jealous because they had their chance to have Kevin clean their game up. You know what I'm saying? But they never put money on it. You know what I'm saying, brother? They didn't put money on it. She did.
Yeah, like I said earlier, when I watched that little snippet of Obsidian and her talking, I got to give props to Obsidian because he asked her straight up. He said, "Did your dad give you some money to help you with this endeavor?" And she said, "Yeah, he did." I mean, look at her studio, look at her presentation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, man? Dude, I got this little microphone that I got, whatever it is, and then my little lights and all of that stuff on a very, hairstring budget. She got the Shure mics, the boom mics, the proper lighting, and all of that kind of, which I'm not mad. She invested in herself.
Yeah,
and then if she stepped back and took that money and went to Kevin, you went to the person, and said, "Look, help me get polished."
Yeah, and matter of fact, she said herself, you know what I'm saying, that was the hardest consultation she ever had in her life because he tore her apart. I mean, he tore her apart, but as he tore her apart, you know what I'm saying, he rebuilt her. You know what I'm saying?
You were in the military. You know what happens when you go through basic training?
Yeah, you get
that
torn
drill
out and get
sergeant
rebuilt.
tears you apart.
Yeah.
And then he builds you back up and makes you better at the end.
But see, what the thing is now is what it is, man. You're starting to hear these women like Courtney Michelle. And I'm gonna subtract Danica Marie. She ain't. You know what I'm saying? She ain't said that. Crimson Curious kind of lightly said that. Chantel, so not Chantel. Ches Sade has lightly said it, but they're talking about gatekeeping now because we see, like I said on there, man, you can't gatekeep when you're fully integrated in the United States. Your culture is fully integrated, so you can't you can't gatekeep, brother. You know what I'm saying? So now they trying to gatekeep to keep other Just Pearlie's coming out, but you know what I'm saying? But plus two, Just Pearlie went to England. She didn't stay in the US. You know what I'm saying? She went where she had no family. She went to England and decided, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's a good looking dog back there. Was that a lab?
Yeah, that's my boy.
yeah. So Just Pearlie went to England where she had no family. All right, you know what? I'm gonna take Dad's money. I'm gonna take Kevin's training, and I'm gonna go strike out on my own and done build my thing. And what you're seeing is you're seeing jealousy of a lot of people who had the opportunity to let Kevin clean them up and clean their game up, and they didn't take advantage of it. And who takes advantage of it? Becky does.
Well, you know the thing about it, man, is like you said, it's the difference between playing, chess and checkers. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I wrote down on a piece of paper what I wanted the trajectory of this channel to be, it has to be more than just talking about angry black women and passport bros and this, because that has its life cycle in the whole, YouTube space. This shit is gonna die out sooner or later, right? So at the very end, it's gonna have to be about the content.
Right.
So, what do you want it to be? If the name of the channel is Ed Travels, then you need to talk about travel. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the dynamic between the relationships and what's going on in the West as it relates to in the context of why it's a good idea for you to explore your options. This is not a relationship channel. You see what I'm saying? So I can understand Pearlie, Just Pearlie saying, I want to broaden the scope of my show.
Right.
I want to bring on other people like for me, I got a really, really good friend here. He's a white guy. He's a professor at a college here. Real cool, like one of them old hippies that was doing LS, the LS,
Yeah,
whatever it is back in the
yeah,
day. But
yeah.
but he has studied Khmer culture for the past 35 years.
Whew.
He studied the Cambodian culture. And the other night when I saw him at the bar, he told me this, which blew my mind. He said, I've been teaching Khmer culture and Cambodian culture for 35 years. He said, but being married to a Khmer woman for 25 years, I realized that I don't know anything at all. He said, all I was teaching was what was coming out the book.
Mm.
And I said, dude, you're the kind of guy that I would like to have on my show, not only to educate me, but to educate the people that, are taking the time to see, to watch the program so they can get a better understanding of why they might want to move here. Let me get this super chat. Kevin 3. My problem is what we are seeing with Pearly is just what Rubber Band is saying. Why didn't more black women take Kevin's advice, but the white girl is prospering? You know what, Kevin, you can answer that question yourself. Bruh, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't know nothing about Kevin Samuels until last year. When I got sick and had to go back to the States, when I got discharged from the hospital, I couldn't really leave the house. So I just sat there, and one of my homeboys said, dude, man, have you heard about this guy, Kevin Samuels? And he sent me some of the, the one that went viral, the You're Just Average one. You know what I'm talking about? That one. He sent me that video.
Yeah.
And I looked at that, and then I started looking, but then I said, damn, man, this brother is going in hard on these sisters. Now, he wasn't lying. And, and any military guy or any other guy, look, dude, I don't give a damn if you yell at me. When I went to basic training, I wasn't scared of my drill sergeants because my grandmama was worse than them. You know what I'm saying? I was already conditioned. If you I don't mind that. But what I noticed with Kevin Samuels was Kevin was using his life experience and what he knew as an image consultant to make black women look at themselves and hold themselves accountable. And that's what they didn't like. They knew he wasn't lying because you can hear it in some of their interviews. Kevin, I listen to some of your content and I agree with 99, 94%, 80%. I just don't like your delivery. Why? Because it hurts your feelings? Because I hold a mirror up? But the thing that turned the corner for me with Kevin Samuels was when I saw the videos of him and the men. When I saw Kevin Samuels going in on brothers, I said, okay, I can rock with this dude.
See, the only problem I had with Kevin was Kevin didn't really deal with the blue collar brothers. He dealt more with the higher upper class
Yeah.
black. And don't get it wrong. And the reason why, like I said, I like you, I found out about him last year. But the reason why I loved, you know what I'm saying, when I talked to Mad Bus Driver and Baba Tunde and the brothers from SYSBM, and I went over their 23 tenants and stuff, it covered white collar, blue collar, the military, you know what I'm saying, even down to the janitor. You know what I'm saying? Because you got brothers who are SYSBM who are white collar brothers, they're military, they're janitors, they're truck drivers. It covered the whole spectrum. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking what Kevin did. But see, Kevin really didn't want brothers leaving. See, Kevin never told these sisters, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Your men are starting to leave and not come back. He would never tell them that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah, he
saying? But
didn't. You're right. He didn't.
you know what I'm saying? And see, because you know what I'm saying, because even Kevin deep down didn't want brothers leaving. But see what he failed to realize is, you know what I'm saying, he failed to realize and you know what I'm saying, bless the dead. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the age of Aquarius. We can get kind of philosophical for a second. You know what I'm
Go
saying?
ahead.
We're coming out the age of Pisces. Pisces forms a circle, which is mean everything's going to be centralized. We've been in a centralized system for this eon. The dating system has been centralized. The economic system has been centralized. Everything has been centralized. Now you're getting decentralization across the board. You know what I'm saying? The pendulum has to swing back to some decentralization. You're seeing now, what I'm saying, that started with, what I'm saying, I'm gonna take it to sports. Baseball players win the right to be free agents. Sports, players can be free agents. They can move now, which raise their pay because now owners bid on play, which start raising the salaries and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, now you got, you got decentralization and the banking and colleges now, universities. Now, because now you start getting the different types of, it's not, I ain't gonna say affirmative action, but now you got online universities. You know what I'm saying? You got, online universities. Okay, so therefore, I ain't gotta go sit in your classroom. I can go online. So now the universities, what I'm saying, they want you to come to the university. Okay, we got to come up with that. Got to come up with some form so we can get more people in here. All right. So now, back when I was getting out of the military, fell short, of 100,000, 200,000 in the Navy of being their quota. So all of a sudden now the Navy's given, I got out, they were giving massive bonuses. I know if I left, man, if you just to put your name on the test, what I'm saying, everybody got promoted because a lot of people got out because they couldn't get promoted because of all the politics in it and stuff. Okay, now we're going into a decentralized. The only thing that was left over that wasn't decentralized was the dating market. And when the dating market started doing these on the dating sites came first. Okay, what I'm saying, that started leveling the playing field. People started dating from across the state, across the country. All right. Then came now you have people getting passports now. Now you got these dating tours where now you got men who are going overseas. Okay, you know what? I don't feel like I don't have the time to sift through to try to find a good wife. You know what I'm saying? Like good example, you got AFA, American Foreign Affairs, talking about a black man and a white dude. They started AFA where they screen the women. You know what I'm saying? And majority of these women speak two languages. They're educated. You know what I'm saying? And they looking for husbands. Looking for husbands. You know what I'm saying? So now the dating market has changed now. So now a average guy, matter of fact, there's a guy I saw on YouTube, and I'm gonna sum it up right quick. He a fat boy. He a fat boy. The dude goes to the Philippines, gets a damn near 8.5 Filipino chick. You know what I'm saying? 8.5.
I've seen that.
Yeah, 8.5. And the sisters are uproar, but this is a fat boy. But see what it is, he's the guy at the end of after the carousel pipeline. See, he's their retirement plan. See, after they let Pookie and Ray Ray and they swirl and go through all that, have a couple kids, you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be there at the end of the retirement plan, you know what I'm saying, to clean up the mess. The problem is he's not there no more. Now he's coming back with his wife to the States, but him and his wife got a game plan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They coming back, they're gonna work, she's gonna send money back. You know what I'm saying? And they got like a 7-year plan and they're gonna be trying to retire in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? But in this age of Aquarius, information is flowing. It's decentralized. And now that especially black men now are taking advantage of the decentralized system. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's crying in an uproar right now. Everybody's upset. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's upset now because you're taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? You in Cambodia, you got you got Zoom to Thailand, you got brothers down in Colombia. Now they starting to find wives, and now everybody's upset. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Because you know what I'm saying? The groundwork has been laid. You know what I'm saying? You and I both know in the military, you know what I'm saying? When we traveled abroad, you know what I'm saying? Men like Denzel Washington, Michael Jordan, they kind of Michael Jackson, they pretty much laid the groundwork for black men.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Those brothers that served in the military in World War II and stuff, they laid the groundwork for us. In Vietnam, they laid the groundwork for us. Now brothers are reaping the benefits. You know what I'm saying? There was an ancient black civilization, you know what I'm saying, back in Cambodia where you at, you know what I'm saying, called the Khmer Rouge. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the statues of the brothers prostrating with braids and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? So now the only thing that you're doing is a return of the Khmer Rouge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're going to a decentralized age, and now black men are prepared to take advantage of it.
Let me catch this. Kevin 3, our ladies are lazy. Global dating and marriage means competition. They do not want to compete. They hate seeing, and you're right, Kevin. I mean, me and Rubber Man talked about that the other day. Rubber Man. Do you remember when you enlightened me, bro? And I give props where props to do. When you sat there and said that all the sisters had to worry about was Becky at first. Remember when you
Yeah,
told me that?
yeah,
You say now all of a sudden you got Consuelo, you got all the rest of them that are chiming in. I tell you right now, from my personal conversations that I've had with Cambodian women here, and I'll enlighten you. The thing about the Cambodian women here, that there's a culture here, and I'm talking about this from I got 4 daughters. One of them is the oldest one. She's 25, 26. She's married with 2 kids to a Khmer guy, right? So that means the 24, 23, 19-year-old, they're dating, right? Right?
yeah.
The 23-year-old asked me, and I won't go, but she asked me, could she date this guy? And she told the guy straight from the rip. This is what my daughter told him. Ain't gonna be no smashing unless we get married. Period. Because that's the way that I was brought up. And that is a prevailing thing. Now, I'm not saying because somebody's smashing over here is happening, but overall, that's the culture.
Yeah.
And these women here in Cambodia look at it this way. It's not, they look at it like this. I got a choice of having a better life for me and my kids because I can give this man naturally how I was taught to be. I've said in video after video, you can't fake femininity.
Yep.
You
Preach.
can't fake submission.
Preach.
You can't. These women just do it. I see it with my own eyes with these young ladies that live in my house. I mean, it's even the way that they approach me. You know what I'm saying? They always got their head down a little bit. They got that little shy. It's almost like they're almost ashamed, shy to speak to even me. There's that inherent, patriarchy. There's those gender roles are set. And see, the other night when I asked you, Rubber Band Man, or maybe it was you, Kevin, I asked you, and it was paining me, brothers. I said, man, is there any hope for these sisters? And I think both of y'all quickly
Nope.
said no.
No, man. I mean, because think about it, man. You got black women. You got ABWs who are married now. They got quality black men, and they're busting up their marriages. Like there was one this brother had on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? This lady had a good man. You know what I'm saying? And because she made more money than him, you know what I'm saying? She couldn't submit, so she busted up. She said herself. She said on that. She said I busted up my marriage, and she thought I was free, and she said don't get it wrong. I mean she had men hollering at her, but she said she was waking up with a different man in the bed. All they did was smashing her, and she said her ex-husband moved on and got somebody younger. So she couldn't completely say she was wrong. Well, my ex-husband wasn't perfect, but what I'm saying she said, well, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect. But I should have stayed with him, even though I got me somebody else who cares about me. No, basically what it is, what I'm saying? You thought you were better than your ex-husband. You thought you made more money, you better than him. You got rid of him. You try to quote unquote level up. You got ran through for a few years. You got ran through. You got the base you got ran through. Then you realize you were getting run through, and none of these guys were going to marry you. You know what I'm saying? None of these guys were going to marry you. You know what I'm saying? So now you can with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But you still had to take a shot at your ex-husband because He's moved on to a younger woman. You know what I'm saying? And now you with somebody, but that ain't the guy you want to be with. You really want to be back with him.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't know how true it is, but it ran across my feed today about old girl Tia Mowry, right? You know, the little
Yeah,
chick that
yeah.
left her actor
Yeah.
husband that
Yeah.
now they reconciling. She wants to reconcile. And it's so funny because I saw it on Facebook and I made the comment. I said she messed around and left the house and found out there wasn't nobody checking for her ass.
Yep.
And she saw that the hot girl summer is over. Now she got her tail between her legs, going back home like she's doing that brother a favor.
Yeah, but see, but that was the dude that she was messing with. You know what I'm saying? He just smashed her out. That's all. He just smashed
That's
her out.
it.
And
Exactly.
he smashed her out. And then, as soon as he smashed her out, you know what I'm saying? He was done with her. He was done
Yeah,
with her.
Kevin, you're right. They're breaking up marriage because the thing is that I went through a divorce. I went through two, and I got ran through. I had a female. She had the female victims advocate. She had a female judge. She had she had this simping male lawyer that because she in this situation, I'm out of the military. She's an executive in Atlanta for a major company.
Oh God, you in Atlanta? Oh God, help
No,
you.
in DeKalb County, bro. DeKalb County. Decatur, where it's greater.
Man, that's female judge central right there. That's
Yeah,
female
bro.
judge.
And the thing was, every time me and my lawyer would file a motion, she'd rule against us. So we already knew that if we took this to trial, I was gonna lose big, and I ended up just deciding to go to mediation. I didn't get nearly none of the money back that I put into the house. The money that I invested, I got a portion of it back. But I got my freedom, I got my peace of mind. But I got taken to the cleaners. And they know that. And it's just it's sad to me. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine tonight, man. I've known for 20-some years. She's 60-some years old. And she's one of them throwbacks. You know what I'm saying? She's like a throw, and she's been down like 4 flat tires. And she said, Ed, she said, baby, when you gonna realize that these young girls don't care? She said they don't care, they're looking out for themselves.
Yeah, man, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they think it's some, you know what I'm saying, it's a mythological dude out there that is gonna come through, and, you know what I'm saying, and just sweep them off their feet. You know what I'm saying? I mean that same way with my ex. She told me, you know what I'm saying, she said I could be missing out on somebody bigger and better. Said I
feel you,
could.
Kevin. Me too.
Yeah, she said I could. She said that there was no one out there. I could be missing out on somebody bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Because they leave because they want to quote unquote level up. You know what I'm saying? But every time they go out there, it's like they get, like Kevin said, it's 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? They get ran through. I mean, then they come back like Tim Marie. You know what I'm saying? That dude she messed with, he ran through her. I banged it out a couple times. I'm done now. And now, you know what I'm saying?
Now she want to go back home.
Yeah, if I'm Corey Howard, I'm not taking that broad back.
Oh, hell no. We can't get the patriarchy back in the U.S. because of the divorce laws and family court laws.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Because, dude, when the state of California was setting my child support for my daughter, the judge told me this. They said, we need to know how much money you make before taxes, overtime, and bonuses. And that's what we're going to base your child support on.
You got divorced in California?
I asked the judge,
God.
I said, do you take home your pre-tax amount? If you're supposed to get $150,000 a year, that's what your offer letter said. Do you take $150,000 home? No. I said, so how are you going to base my child support on money I don't make? You see what I'm saying? That's when I knew. Dog, do you know when I really knew how bad it was? Is when I went to Alameda County Child Support Office and they were sitting behind bulletproof glass.
Man, hold time out. California and Atlanta? Good God, brother.
Yeah, dog, I got hit up.
Hey, you've been through it, bro. Hey, but you've been through it, homie. You've been through it, bro. You've been through it in California and Atlanta. Good night.
Yeah, hey, Jerome Payne in the house. Yeah, Laura Harvey. Yeah. You don't think that she missed that? The corny dude, right? You don't think that she missed that? You don't
Hey,
think
look.
that Laura Harvey missed that?
Hey, look. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Same with that chick, for Don L'Oreal, because the Shade Room, someone leaked that full interview in the Shade Room from
Yeah,
L'Oreal, and they got it taken down. But she did say, not Lori Harvey, but Don L'Oreal, the chick they called. He said he called her corny. She
yeah.
said, now because why? Because she got ran through too. She said, I wish I had, and I wish I could go back and talk to that young girl. You know what I'm saying? And basically encourage that young brother and been by his side, because he said I probably would have been the one, you know what I'm saying, done wearing the ring.
Yeah, because you know what? See, hey, I hear you, Kevin. Yeah, same in Florida. Yeah. The This is what I don't understand. My youngest two kids are 18 months apart, where my son is 18 months older than my daughter. And when they were little, I could quickly realize that my daughter was way smarter than her brother. Way smarter. I'm talking about common, real life common sense. Like, she figured stuff out. She knew how to try to use her little smile and all that. They're very, very smart. But you know what amazes me is how these so-called modern independent women act so dumb when it comes to relationships. He misled me. He lied to me. I didn't know that he was using me. They get dumb and quasi feminine when it's advantageous to them. See, like Michael B. Jordan, I remember the brother from The Wire. I remember the brother, if this little dude was actually in school walking around with his headshots, he was about his business at that age. A lot of us, Rubber Band Man, Kevin, we were the corny dudes. We were the dudes that took the AP classes. We were the dudes that weren't the jocks and all of that kind. We were the ones that got passed over.
Yeah, in the
You know,
comic books and stuff. In the
yeah,
comic books.
yeah, exactly, and all of that kind of stuff. And then now, but this is what a girlfriend of mine, who I really trust her. I really trust what she has to say, and this is what she's telling me is going on behind the scenes in the community. She's telling me that these women are going home drinking a bottle of wine or two a night, crying in their mattress, in their pillow, because they buy them damn selves. She said they got too much pride to say it publicly, but they fully aware that the clock is running out on them. And that was one, huh?
No,
Go
no,
ahead, brother.
you're right, man. Because like the only way that you can fight that is like, okay, like a good example. All right, it was Don Bernice Burgos. All right, Bernice Burgos. That is a beautiful chocolate sister. Very beautiful. I think she's Cuban descent. But see,
Yeah.
Bernice Burgos is 40 years old. Don't get it wrong. She knows saying she was a single mother early in her age. She hustles. She got her modeling game up. You know what I'm saying? And she owned her own successful business. But see, this woman is 40 years old. She's not married. You know, she's a successful businesswoman. She's not married. She's dated NBA players, rappers, NFL players, and none of these guys have married her. Like I was telling someone, man, why you hating on Bernie? I said, no, man, because I watched Kevin Samuels, and I've seen these girls on Kevin Samuels, and Kevin Samuels asked, okay, well, you dating all these guys, you know what I'm saying? And how come? Don't get it wrong, Bernie Virgo is 40 years old and got her body of a 19 bad, but no one's married her. Why no one married her? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they definitely sleeping with her, you know what I'm saying? But no one's married her. Why? Because they know at the end of the day, all that looks and sexiness, that's not a wife. They deep
Bro,
down
you
know
said
that.
you said a mouthful, because I tried to tell my son this. I got a 31-year-old son. I said, son, I'm gonna tell you something from experience. I didn't. You're not gonna marry the best box you ever had. I said 9 times out of 10, the best coochie you ever had is probably gonna be the worst woman for you. You probably should hit it in the head with a brick and just run in the other direction. That's what you should do. I said, but when you find that woman that's good at everything, she ain't the cutest you ever had. It ain't maybe not the best sex you ever had, but you know that woman got your back. She love you. She respect you. You respect her opinion. And y'all working together to build something. I said, that's the one that you marry. I said, why in the hell hasn't Holly Berry ever been able to be in a successful relationship?
Yeah, no, bro. Like,
Ever.
I see, I see him on the time. There's one I follow on IG. Her name is Asia Diaz, a beautiful Hispanic sister, beautiful Afro Latino sister, beautiful.
I love that, Kevin. I love that.
Yeah, she beautiful as heck. But dag, man, I mean, she dating a dude. Like this chick almost 30-something years old, and this dude that you with, he ain't married you yet. He ain't put a ring on you. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got the tight career. You're hosting, you're modeling, but this guy hadn't wiped you up yet. And see, Kevin was so. Like Kevin, like, yo, all right, so what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what's up with you? What's up with these guys? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying? Y'all sleeping with them, y'all dating them, but they ain't wiping you up because at the end of the day, these guys know these women aren't wives. They ain't wives, and they'll wind up like you said, brother Ed. They'll wind up marrying the chick. You know what I'm saying? They'll train at that 9. You know what I'm saying? For a 6.
A solid 6 that got your back.
Yep.
A solid 6 that got your back. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've talked to women before and I've asked them, give me a list of the things that you want in a man. Bruh. I was like, no, where you going to find this Negro in the laboratory? You know, are you just going to create like a Frankenstein monster of this perfect man? Because they don't exist. He doesn't exist. You know, and then what ends up happening is like even today, you know, I don't go on TikTok, but you know, sometimes I go to capture videos sometimes. But I went on TikTok and the thing is, you can tell the fear in a person, rubber band. You can tell the fear. This chick was like, oh, they say I'm about to hit the wall. What is the wall? Ooh, I'm so scared. And I'm sitting there looking at her like, yeah, you terrified. You terrified. You like that little kid whistling in the dark, knowing good and well. It's like Kevin Samuels. I used to love when he used to say, what product appreciates with use and time?
Come on, man. Come on, man. In Atlanta, man. In Atlanta, I myself, let's lose a buck here. In Atlanta, man, you got these chicks getting BBLs, you know what I'm saying, just to get taken to Pound Town.
Ron Scudder, welcome, man. The females tend to be afraid of going against the group. They're not going to go against the community, even though they secretly know better for fear of being ostracized by the group. You're right. And just like I said, in the video that I made today, I call those sisters out. I say, your silence makes you complicit. If you know that they wrong and you sat there, I'm not saying that you like your girl, but you won't go against her. So you just as complicit. Yeah, Rubber Man, back to Atlanta, because that's where I live. Bruh, listen, man. When I went down to Columbia, it's one thing to see it on YouTube, okay? Or it's one thing to see it on TV. It's another thing to see the mangoes in real life. Sitting outside my boy's restaurant bar, and I'm watching these fit, firm, fine. I mean, dude, they were walking by every 10 seconds. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And these women didn't have the spider eyelashes. They didn't have the long fingernails. They didn't have on the tons of makeup. You know what she had? She had on gym clothes, or she might have on, because I'm a sucker for a sundress, but she might have on like a little dress, and she got her hair pulled back in a ponytail.
Oh, God.
That's it. That's it. She got her hair pulled back in the ponytail. Absolutely gorgeous. That's why when I was on Razor Ray's had me on his live. And Razor Ray's told me about how he went down to the beach in Cartagena and ran into a group of these ABWs. And he said, you should have seen the look on their faces as they walking around the beach in Cartagena. He said, you can just see that their souls were crushed. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you, and this is another one of my pet peeves. Let me tell you what bothers me about the BBL thing. Me personally, I'm not for elective cosmetic surgery of any type. You understand? Unless it's, if my girl comes to me and says, look, my breast is so big that I stand on my feet all day and it hurts my back. And the doctor sits back. Like I had a girlfriend in Atlanta. They had huge breasts, but she was a hairdresser. She was small too. And she said, man, my back be killing me. So she got a consultation from her doctor to get them reduced because of health reasons. I'm down with that. But see, when Kim K went and got that BBL and all these other chicks got the BBL, they went to a board certified doctor. 9 times out of 10, they didn't even pay for that because he was going to use them for advertising to get more business. And then they went to a real hospital in a real surgical suite with real professionals. These sisters trying to get it on the hookup, on the low. So I'm going to go down to Mexico or the DR or somewhere like that in a hotel room with some shady clinic and have Dr. Juan or whoever get a BBL so you look like an ant when you come back because it's not in proportion. And then you end up having complications and die. But you trying to get the body of the same woman you hating on. That's what I can never understand, Rubber Band.
Well,
I can never understand that.
It's the same way with the hair, man. I mean, I told my ex-girlfriend, I said, look, so we got an argument because her mother, her mother was like Green Lantern in Blackest Night and Blackest Night, and her mother, her mother wearing a blonde wig. I said, okay, all right, I definitely know this is coming down the pike. I said, okay. I said, look, you wear it with your sister and brother-in-law. I said, don't wear no blonde wig around me. You got an argument in the car. Make a long story short, I said, okay, time out. I said, God is perfect, right? Yes. I said, God made you, right? Perfect, yes. So you telling me the only thing that God made on you wrong is jacked up with your hair? And and so after that, she got quiet. She couldn't answer. I said, look, I said, why don't you wear your natural hair? I said, you keep it covered up. You know what I'm saying? I said, stop buying other people's hair. I understand if you want to throw a wig on one morning, that's fine. But don't come with a blonde wig. Wear your natural hair. That's what God gave you. But see, you know what I'm saying? They deep down don't like who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Black men have gotten rid of the conch years ago. They've got rid of that. A brother can walk around with a fade, bald head, you know what I'm saying, afro, dreads, whatever, and he still got women beating the door down. Like I told you last time, you got Arab chicks. Arab chicks are moving in on brothers. You got Indian chicks moving in on brothers. Asian chicks are moving in.
Hey, but Rubber Band, won't you? Whether you agree with this or not, and I can speak for me.
Yeah.
I think men are a lot more practical and realistic when it comes to their appearance and how they look. They're more honest about how they look than women are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because just like on Just Pearly, when she did her thing a couple of days ago, and she had all these wildebeest that was in the room.
Oh God! I think it's a wildebeest.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had all these big, huge girls in there, and she said, "I want everybody to go around the room and rate themselves." And did when nobody under a 9, nobody.
Yeah, I heard
Not
about that
one of them was under a 9.
I heard about that.
It's like you get a bunch of brothers together. Like I used to have a homeboy that I was in the army with, man. And his name was Chill. He was from Baltimore. Little man, dude was black as night. Had these his eyes were always bloodshot red, bugged out. Had these lips, but couldn't nobody outdress him.
Yeah.
When no way in the world you was gonna outdress him. He had the best cologne, the right amount of jewelry, this and that. But he sat there and said, man, I know I'm the ugliest ninja in the room, man. He said, I know that. He said, but you can't outdress. It's almost like men are more pragmatic and practical about where they stand in that hierarchy. I'm not walking in no room with one of these young dudes that go to the gym 3 or 4 times a day, trying to, sit back and say that I look physically as good as him. I think men are much more practical about that. What do you think?
I think they are, man, because I think what it is, man. I think like okay, I like good example. When the brothers go on these dating tours down with AFA to the Philippines, Colombia, or Ukraine, I know what I'm saying these guys understand that they not the most, they ain't the most charismatic or the, what I'm saying, they not. So when brothers go in there, what I'm saying, they go as themselves. It's easier for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? They just understand that. So and brothers have accepted that. So now since they accept it, it's a lot easier for them to go into a situation and and, and actually pull something.
But I also believe that a real woman, and let me get this from Kevin real quick, dropping some real gems, Kevin. You really are. And that's exactly what that is exactly what I was talking about, Kevin. Western women have chosen independence. They are uncovered by choice. They are no men to guide because of their choices over time. They continue to choose the degenerate path. Listen, and I'll get back to what you were saying about AFN. See, this is I've learned for me. My grandmother told me something a long time ago, and her infinite wisdom keeps coming back to me now that I'm in my 50s. My grandmama told me never argue. I don't even know if I can say this, but with the retarded person. She said, because
Mm-hmm.
who's dumb, you or them? You should know better. And that never really made any sense to me until lately. So when this sister she first thing that she did in her message, Rubber Band Man and Kevin, she attacked me, called me a coward. Went from the same playbook, you sorry, or whatever it is. And she said, and she was also talking about Uncle D, and she was talking about how why don't men like you who have your platforms teach us? Those were her words. Teach us how to protect ourselves. Now, she didn't say protect us. I said, you know what? I'll flatter you. What if I try to teach you how to protect yourself? Are you willing to listen? Or are you going to overtalk me? Are you even willing to listen? Because I'm not going to waste my time because you know what I've learned to deal with them, with those ABWs? You know what I tell them? You strong, you independent, I'm dusty, crusty, whatever it is, broke. You don't need a man. You got it. I'm going to give you exactly what you want. You wanted equality. You wanted all of that. Take it. You got it. I guarantee you, once you tell them that, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They turn
Yeah.
right around and come back, and now they sit back and they play the victim.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
Yeah.
believe that. You just gonna leave me out here uncovered? Well, no. Dude, it's almost like this, man. Going out with your woman. Let me read this. You're right, Ed, because a man's success in life hinges on his ability to see things the way they are. Because ain't nobody gonna come help us. They really aren't act accordingly. If we get a flat tire in a parking lot, we're not sitting there expecting somebody to come give us a hand, right? We're gonna have to deal with it. You just gonna have to deal with it. That's what a man has to do. You can't be no Negro in distress. Ain't no damsel in distress. But that's what I do with these women. I sit back and tell them, you got it. You don't need me. Going out with your woman. If your woman goes out there and picks a fight with a dude, when Key and Peele did that little skit about Megan, you know what I'm saying? How she keep getting him beat up. Your woman should sit back and say, baby, I don't want to see you fight nobody. Y'all saw the other night when I put the video up of my girl's bar. She got a mobile little bar that don't close till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I don't even go to her bar because last time, before the pandemic, I damn near had to put my hands on a couple of these drunk expats here because of how out of bounds they were. But you know what my girl did? She said, baby, I'm Kamai. I got Kamai brothers out here, got my back. I need you to go home. Because if you get into a fight with him, you're not going to win that battle. And it wasn't, she didn't think that I could protect her. A real woman ain't going to put you in that position.
Preach.
A real woman that love you don't want to see you jammed up. She going to go out of her way to get you out of that situation. It's the same thing with when Sierra wearing what she wore to the Oscars. That was disrespectful as hell to her, man. I don't give a damn what nobody say. If I was at the house and saw my woman come down with that, I would have asked her, where the hell you think you going? And if you going without me? That's disrespectful. But then the sisterhood, like the comment earlier, because they don't respect you. This older man told me, he said, man, find a woman that loves you more than you love her. And it's better to have respect than love. And I thought he was crazy, but now I truly understand what the man was talking about. Ron Scudder, you're right, Ed, because, a man's success. Jerome Payne, teach Western Black women won't take it. Absolutely. That's why I asked her, will you even listen? Because they feel they're superior. My own mother won't take it, financial advice from her sons. I got to the point now, dude, I'm too old to teach a grown-ass woman. First of all, because they're ingrained in their ways. That's just the way they are. I ain't got time to change. I ain't got time to change that. You know what I noticed in my house? I noticed my lady teaching her daughters how to be wives through her actions. That's what she does. She's an example to them. So they get that from when they're young. Like when my grandmother, when I was 8 years old, my grandmother used to always have me open the door for her, pull out the chair for her. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm 52 years old. I still do that to this day because it was ingrained in me as a child. Now you expect these women that have bought into feminism, taught that they don't need you, that all of a sudden there's going to be an epiphany and that woman is going to be feminine and submissive and cooperative and not argumentative. Nah, bro, it's just not going to happen. What were you saying, Rubber Band?
No, man. Nah, brother. You are on the money, man. But see, it is, man. You got a generation that. I know. Don King Sigma did a report on a story last year where this woman in Atlanta, man, she was a corporate. She worked at a law firm. She's making about $230,000 a year. She living in Buckhead, upscale condo, and she dating a Pookie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she dating a Pookie, man, and you know what I'm saying. And I guess she couldn't get to that partner level with the Pookie. I guess he tried to get rid of Pookie, but she failed to realize thinking Pookie like living in Bokehead. You know what I'm saying? Then Pookie like living in a condo. You know what I'm saying? So now you turn around and you trying to get rid of Pookie. You know what I'm saying? And Pookie ain't having it. In the story, you know what I'm saying? He shot her dead in the apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He shot her dead. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the hood chick, it's one that are done college educated, and you have a whole generation of ABWs like this. You are. Because like Nika Marie said this was very cool. I gotta give her credit. She said her whole life, she's a sister. Well, you know what I'm saying? How many foreign men are flying on here to come get you?
Absolutely. I made that point. When I did that video, congratulations to Passport Women, which was more sarcasm. I sat back and I said, how many of them checking for you? Kevin 3905 is down in Albany. He's in Albany, Georgia, down there off 75 South going towards Statesboro. I believe it's Highway 70. You make that right off of 75 South. Seems like it take you forever to get to Albany. He said down in Ocala. I got a good homeboy that lives Blue to Globe. I got a homeboy that lives in Hawthorne. So he's that's right by Ocala, I think it is. But you're right. I mean, you're absolutely correct, Rubber Band Man. You're absolutely correct. I mean, the thing is, man, is these sisters, man. I mean, for the life of me, living in Atlanta was, first of all, you talk about, the LGBTQ community in Atlanta. We all know, what it's like down there. The DL brothers and all that. But these sisters were so vicious that if you rejected them, if you turned them down, you not feeling them, automatically you were gay. You must be on the DL because you're not feeling her.
Well, see, because what it is, man, the community is a matriarch. They call it the hyena clan, and the hyena clan is matriarchal, and the women
Yes, it is.
are bigger, and women run the community. So basically it's reversed. Instead of you picking the woman picks you. You know what I'm saying? And whether she got 3 or 4 kids, if she pick you, you're supposed to be with her. But brother's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And I think what it is, you know what I'm saying? These broads, like you gotta understand, you want to know about these broads, you know what I'm saying? They don't the reason why the reason why they just go to Jamaica or go to certain parts of Africa, because they know they can't go to Brazil and compete. They can't go to Colombia and compete. You know what I'm saying? They can't go to Thailand or Philippines and compete. They just can't do that. So they go places where they know that where they will have the upper hand.
Exactly. Hey, Jerome Payne.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Hey, Ed, you don't believe in the soft girl era? No.
Hell no.
Hell no. That ain't nothing but a scam. Because what did I say earlier, Jerome? I don't know whether you were on when I said it earlier. You can't fake femininity. You can't fake submission. And not to get into the biblical thing, because I don't want the conversation to go. But the thing is that when I went to seminary over at ITC, over by Morehouse School of Divinity, when I was in Atlanta, and I studied for 2 years. We studied the word for 2 years. And when it came to submission, it said a woman should submit herself to a man that's worthy of being submitted to. Submission does not mean surrender. Now, if she's gone out and submitted herself to Pookie and Ray Ray and all of them, and now, for whatever reason, submission ain't the problem. The problem was you. You picked the wrong one. I remember when allegedly I had to go to this anger management class, right? Going through one of those divorces. I had to go to anger management. I got caught up. She made false charges, and Georgia is not the state for that. In Georgia, if you raise your voice to her, you're going to get charged with simple battery for raising your voice. So I'm sitting in anger management, and the woman tells me, Ed, the reason you're in this class right now is because you picked the wrong women. She said, you picked jealous and insecure women. And I didn't believe her. She said, the first relationship that you have, when you leave this group, you're going to pick a jealous and insecure woman because that's what you're attracted to. I told her, ain't no way in the world I'm going to do that. What happened? Divorce number 2. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So that soft girl era is nothing more than a shell game. Bait and switch. And if you're dumb enough to fall for it, then that's on you. That is on you. Kevin says ABWs are not feminine because they're not taught. Absolutely. They have no well to draw femininity from. Too many generations of non-feminine. It's like I said, when me and Rubber Band were talking before. I used to say this a long time ago, man, when I used to be at my favorite little bar down there on Ponce. And these women used to be running off at the mouth, and I really didn't care if they didn't like me. You know, I kind of took pride in the fact that you know, they wanted me kicked out of the bar, to be honest with you. So I used to always tell these women, I'm talking about this is like 10, 15 years ago, fellas. I used to tell them women, it ain't your fault. And they used to be like, well, what you mean, Ed? I said, your mama let you down. I said, your mama let you down. I used to tell them that 10, 15 years ago. You have no point of reference on what it's like to be a wife because you somehow in this whole grand scheme of things within the black culture, the black community, your mama let you down. Period. How can I expect you to be feminine and be a wife when you've never been taught? I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm just telling the truth. I see it with my own eyes here on a day-to-day basis. Bruh, I have seen these command mothers go to blows with their daughters. I'm talking about physical. The mama went upside the daughter's head because she got slick with a dude, telling him what she wasn't going to do. And that mother checked it immediately. That's not how we roll in this society. I'm at 52 years old. You know, I fought my battles. I did my combat tours. I ain't got time to train nobody. I have no desire for that. You know, and they continue to go over. And so let me ask you guys this. So what do you see 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Do you see that this Passport Bros movement, or to take it just away from Passport Bros, do you see this movement of men leaving the West to go find that woman they're looking for? Question number one, do you see it continuing? And two, where do you see it leaving the black woman?
Well, I am going to take a piece from what Dennis Berlin said. And once again, shout out to that brother right there. So, not disappointed. Shout out to him. Are you going to see two scenarios? All right. And are you going to see a scenario where, on guys like you, they leave and don't come back? Go see that scenario. All right. And you'll have a scenario like Austin Holloman. These young guys going to start traveling. I do wish Austin would stop doing all the knucklehead stuff, but he's young. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a third scenario, like I said, like the fat boy. The fat boy, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna go get his wife. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna scout wisely. He's gonna come back. And he's gonna bring his wife back. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna focus on building. Like they're gonna build and get their plan up so they can retire. So they can retire overseas and stuff because it's gonna be they have a better life overseas. All right, a whole better life. And what that's gonna do is you have a bunch of black women, professional and unprofessional, by themselves. Matter of fact, I think SKC did a story where where these ABWs were buying a house with each other. Like it was like 4 or 5 of them buying a house with each other because they ain't have a man.
I got you. My boy Kevin joining the conversation. Good
What's
to see
up?
you,
What's
bro.
up, fellas?
Hey, let me
Can y'all
catch this,
hear me?
Jerome Payne. You say you're gonna see a lot of pet adoption, empty wine shelves in stores, and girls' night out every night in the West because passports are the competition for Western women now. I like that take, bro. I like that.
Freaking Galentine's Day, stuff like that.
Valentine's Day. Kevin, bless us, man. You've been blessed with comments, man.
Blessings.
It's good.
Blessings, man. I'm usually driving, man, when I'm listening, so I can't, really focus and get on. But you asked a good question. I couldn't type it all.
Hey guys, I'm gonna fall back, man. Listen, man, you guys have a blessed night, all right?
Hey, you
Hey,
too,
man,
brother.
blessings to you.
Take it easy. So what's up, Kevin?
So you asked an interesting question, about the 5 to 10 year mark. I think 5 years from now, there'll be a bit of a turn. But what's going to happen is the guys that are traveling, like you're going to have more guys with upward mobility that are like the top 10, 20%. Need some help. Hold on 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, but Jerome, I agree with you. They're gonna be pet adoptions. Petco gonna be
You want me to
busy.
do what?
They're gonna have a Chardonnay, a wine. They're gonna have, they're gonna have all of that kind of stuff going on, and because I don't see the tide turning. I don't see the tide turning. I really don't.
No, keep them fun.
I don't see the tide turning much at all because what's gonna be the motivating factor for brothers to come back? What's gonna be the motivating factor for Western brothers to come back? I don't see what's gonna draw us back. Yeah, Kevin.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The tide is not going to turn on the feminine side first. It starts with us. It's men traveling. It's them going and marrying out. It's them bringing wives back here. It's competition that's going to turn the tide. It's not going to be them willingly becoming more feminine. It's the competition. The competition has to be in place. Like they don't think the competition is real because they can't see it physically right now.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah.
They have plausible deniability, so that's why they're making all these crazy videos and saying all these crazy things about women they don't know and can't see. See, when they start seeing it, that's when they're gonna be like, wait a minute, we got to get our act together. They don't see it right now. See, everybody can't afford to leave and move and be gone forever. Most guys are gonna marry. They're gonna bring these women back, but they're gonna isolate these women over time. There's gonna be a black Japanese community, a black Thai community. There's gonna be a black Cambodian community. There's gonna be all these different communities.
That's what Dennis Sperman said. Because even that foreign mother don't want her son, dating these ABWs when they come back.
Exactly.
She's still gonna want to keep them in the community.
Exactly. Just like he said, like they're gonna be like, don't they're gonna be telling their sons especially, don't date like that because that's what your father ran away from, and this is
Thanks
why.
a lot, Jerome. Thanks a lot, Jerome.
There's gonna be reasons why. So then, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have Pookie and Ray Ray are gonna be having their way with the current state of black women. They're gonna get tired of that. The educated women, even the educated ones are the same. I was married to a woman with a PhD. It don't matter, man. It doesn't matter whether she got money, whether she doesn't got money. It's just the culture. They're uncovered. They're unmarried, which is what I mean by uncovered. So they choose not to follow the guidance of a man. And when they're uncovered, they're not listening to their own fathers. If their fathers are in their lives, they're not listening to their brothers and things like that. So they're just out here following their feelings. That's why they're choosing all this degenerate behavior. That's why we got BBLs everywhere. That's why we got hair and nails and all this other stuff, man. They're uncovered. That's all. And they think that we're trying to oppress them. Black men have never had the ability to oppress anybody because we were oppressed. We never had the ability to oppress anybody. But they use that kind of sign language. It's basically them saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is the reason why. They always move the goalposts because they just want to do what they want to do. So they're going to say, I want a man with 6 figures. I want a man that's 6 feet. I want a man that's living like this and making this kind of money and all this other kind of stuff. This is moving the goalposts because they know these men barely exist if they exist at all. And it's an excuse just to run the streets. That's all it is. That's all it is. But it's going to run out because the guys, what they don't know is these guys that they're ostracizing, the top 10 to 20% guys, these guys are going into this global economy. They're getting into tech and all this other kind of stuff. Guys like you and me who they call weird when we were trying to be about our business and being intelligent. What's happening now is these guys who are the backbone of the community economically, they're no longer available. They're no longer available. They see it.
But Kevin, that begs the question. It begs the question for me, and maybe you can help me with this. It's like, okay, I'm 52. All right. So when I was in the military, I got out right when I turned 40, 41, 42. I grew as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was like I didn't, it wasn't about the club no more, this and that. I wanted something more solid. You know what I'm saying? Because I matured.
Correct.
You feel me? It's almost like when my man Jarius was on the other night. Me and Jay have been to Cartagena. We've been to Medellin. We hung out here in Cambodia. We've been to Thailand together. And we laugh at each other when we travel, bro, because there's always that, like that first night, we're going to go out and we're going to trick all, we're going to have that good night that first night, but then the old man kick in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, we have dinner or something like that. We might go on a tour and, hey, dog, I'm going to holler at you. I'm going to see you later. So my question is this. Ain't these women too old to try to still be doing the hot girl summer? Wouldn't you think at some point when they hitting at least their 40s that they would just stop this type of behavior?
I don't believe so. I think they stop. Women mature faster than us because they're given all their value up front. So they have to learn how to use. They have to learn how to monopolize it, so to speak, or use it to get what they want. So they mature faster than us. We get all of our worth later in life because we have to work to get it. Once they get the value that they want or they feel like they want out of life, they stop maturing because they want to stay in that state forever. They just stop. Without the guidance of a man, they stop maturing early. Early. Women continue to mature when they're under the guidance of a man that is worthy of them being under that guidance. They continue to grow. They continue to learn things because the man guides them to the right stuff. He guides them away from their feelings and guides them to the facts of life and what's really going on. But when you're uncovered, there's no man that you that is responsible for you. There's no man to give you that provision, that protection, and to give you that proper guidance to get you through life. You just always going on your emotions. They stop maturing. They just stop. They're like big kids for a long time, man. They're just big kids for a long time.
Damn, Kevin, that's deep. Ron Scudder, well, right now the cat's out the bag. Once brothers show others there's a way out, there's no turning back. True. Not for a long time. It's unfortunate. And then CJ Jackson, in my life, truthfully, as a single older man, 56, just me going overseas, enjoying myself with relaxation and women, that's enough right there to set these women off. Yeah. You're absolutely right, CJ Jackson. And I think to touch back on what Kevin just said, that's very interesting for me because I've never really, I look at the relationship that I'm 52 and my lady's 10 years younger than me. Right. Even though our cultures are completely different, there's still some situations where it might be something that, because you really just made me think of something, Kevin. It might be something that's kind of minor to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, for instance, something breaks in the house, right? Refrigerator ain't working, this and that. Her sense of anxiety is unreal to me.
Yep.
She's bouncing off the goddamn walls like the world is coming to an end.
That's right.
But if I come in really calm and say, hey, look, make this phone call, right?
Yep.
You're Cambodian, he's Cambodian. Y'all can talk in your native language, so we don't have to have no interpreter. Tell them that we need this, and this done in this way. I can almost see this sense of relief come over her, where she's like,
because
go ahead, brother. It's gonna be okay.
She's accepted your guidance. She trusts you. and that's part of submission. You submit to somebody that you trust. So she trusts you. She trusts your guidance. She trusts your judgment. And as you're passing down judgments in these various different situations, it teaches her how to move through life when similar things occur. That's after a while you guys get that unspoken communication. She knows what to do because you've guided her long enough, and that continues her growth process. But when they decide when they decide not to be covered, they stop growing. That's why you got 30, 40-year-old women in the club with 20-year-old women.
Yeah, well, I saw that in the
They all
military.
uncovered.
I saw that in the military as well. I was in a rapid deployment unit, and I remember when we were training, and they were teaching us about ambushes, about what happens when you get
Mm-hmm.
ambushed, right? Not when you're the ambushee.
Right.
And they were like, the best thing for you to do is run towards the fire. So, in other words, you want to close that gap that the enemy has on you, right? So, if he's shooting at you in this direction and you continue to
That makes
run,
sense.
you're making yourself a bigger target. You feel me? But if you run towards him, which is
Mm-hmm.
unnatural, right? It goes against self-preservation. But if
Correct.
you calm down in that situation, if you calm down and think logically, this is what you
Right.
do. What I found, and you really opened up something for me, Kevin, I appreciate it, is like that goes out of the window for women. It's 100% emotion. There's no logic. There's no thinking about it. And I truly do believe in my heart of hearts, they want to submit. I think it's naturally inherent in them that they yearn to be led, but they fight against it. Is that saying it the
I
right way?
agree. That does make sense. First, let me say thank you for your service. Absolutely, man. I've heard you mention it a couple of times. It's the first time I'm getting a chance to say it.
Thank
I
you.
didn't get a chance to go to the military, so I appreciate brothers like you, for making that sacrifice. But that does make sense. It's in their nature to submit, but it's just like the big cats. A man has to be in the position to show his strength and show his power. And like I was talking about in my chats earlier tonight, the government has stripped that away from us. We don't have any legs to stand on. You have the government being daddy. The government is saying, listen, if you get rid of that man, I'm gonna give you alimony. I'm gonna give you child support. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you subsidies. I'm gonna give you all of this stuff so that you don't have to work. I'm gonna make him work for you in certain situations. Even in the case of when there's paternity fraud, if the man's been in the child's life long enough, we're still gonna make him responsible. You don't
Yeah,
even have to have sex.
the state of California did it, bro. The Gil Garcetti,
Yeah.
when he was the DA of Los Angeles County, he had this thing where he says, even if even if the DNA proves that you're not the father, you're still responsible. The state of Georgia, luckily my kids were my kids, but I was talking to my
Right.
lawyer when I was going through my divorce. He said, Ed, in the state of Georgia, marriage proves paternity. I
Yep.
said, what?
I have a cousin he's still paying child support. The child is 30 something years old, and he's paying back child support. The judge ordered a paternity test. It was not his child. The judge told him, this was in Florida. Well, you've been taking care of it this long. Keep feeding them. They'll look like you after a while. That's what the judge told him on record.
Oh, hell
Yeah,
no.
brother. So when you have, so we have a system that's for women. Period. It's just for women. That's it. So when you take the man and you take his power away from him, we can't win with this. We can't fight this. We can't fight the system and try to bring them under our covering when they want to be independent.
Well, I think another part that plays into that too, bro, is I've seen this myself, and I ran into this in my last marriage, There were two big things that were huge parts of the downfall to the marriage. That was her goddamn girlfriends.
Yes.
And I wanted to write a book that girlfriends are evil. Definitely.
Okay.
Because they giving her advice about her husband when they don't have one, which I don't understand. And it was the church. It was the church folks. It was the pastor. It was the people in the church getting into her head, giving her all of these ideas. And I'm just sitting there, and she took it as law. She literally took it as law, bruh. And so I'm fighting all of these other people outside of our marriage that she's bringing in, which actually for me made me like almost for a long time totally against it. I was like, there's no way in the world a woman gonna get me to walk down the aisle again. You know, now I've softened on that because I'm not in that situation where the court system is like that.
Well, the only way I would do it is to have a
true, Jerome. It does keep you under the thumb.
Yeah, he's right. The only way I would do it is to have something in place like man, I forgot the name of this thing.
Be as real in the building.
And I thought about this earlier, but you can actually have like Donald Trump actually uses one as well to funnel all his money through it. A lot of businessmen. So trust. You get a living trust. You put a living trust in place. Like with my business, all the money goes to the living trust, and then you make yourself a beneficiary of the living trust. And I pay myself $30,000 a year. So if I ever go to child support or alimony or anything, that's the only thing they can touch. It doesn't matter how much money I make.
I mean, it's a shame it had to be that way because, you know, when they picked Kamala Harris to be the VP, dog, I felt some type of way because I had a child support case in Alameda County when Kamala Harris was the DA, bro. And bruh, when I sit back and tell you, man, they ran through a brother. They ran Kamala Harris. Every document I got in my folder back there has Kamala Harris, DA at the top. And I started to realize that when I went through my divorce, dude, I didn't stand a chance. I did not stand a chance. I did not have a leg to stand on. Everything was tilted in her favor. And I guess my big thing is this. Okay, it's cool when I talk to brothers that are at the point that they can move now. But I would like to try to develop some sort of way, like you said earlier. I haven't forgotten your point about how to try to help brothers come up with a way to escape the matrix so that, you know, even if you have to stay because of your job, because of family, whatever reason it is, that you can try to find some sort of protection from the way that the matrix is doing you.
Well, you brothers,
is there a way to protect yourself? Where the living trust is one way.
There are a couple of ways. For brothers that want to stay in the States, well, I would say whether you're in the States or not, living trust. Number one, get your family trust and a business trust, and separate your money from you. That's the number one thing I think any brother that's even considering marriage or anything should always do. Two, for brothers that are choosing to be passport brothers, man, and you know, I'll be one soon. I'm at the end of my child support now. I think system like brothers like you and I and other brothers like Rubber Band, man, we need to get together and kind of come up with a playbook to help brothers get into the global economy, get into IT or whatever they're interested in that they can work overseas make the U.S. dollar. Like I worked from home for 3 years before I went back to driving trucks, and I used to do basically customer service for companies like Home Depot, Carnival Cruise Lines, Comcast Cable, and stuff like that. And I was making good money. I made about $55,000 in a year. Overseas, that's great money, and you can do that.
The exchange rate is 4-to-1, like in Cambodia. You'd be making 200,000.
Yeah, you're making a U.S. dollar. You can do it anywhere, and you can do it anywhere. I never had to go into an office. My home was my office. I actually gained 30 pounds just doing it.
Yeah, you see, it's like here. It's like I know in Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, foreigners are not allowed to own land. Right. Now, I can buy a condo, but it has to be on the second floor or above. Can't be on the ground floor.
Gotcha.
But it's all about the relationships you build. The guys, I'm a member at a golf course. Two of the guys that I play golf with, there's two Australian guys.
Right.
They own the largest like real estate rental sales, whatever company in the country. They're my golf buddies. We hang out. So what I did is when I bought this house, I rented it, and then halfway through the rental, I said, I really like it. I want to keep it. And according to the law here, Siem would have to be 51% owner because she's Kamat, right? Now I'm not afraid that she's gonna steal it from me, but I said, look, dog, I've been taken through the ringer before.
Correct.
You never know how affairs of the heart go. And especially because I've seen brothers in the Philippines do that shit, go back to go get their clothes, come back, and then the chick kick them out. So what we did is sort of the same way. What I did is I had the company buy the house.
Bingo.
Under a Khmer person's name, right?
Bingo.
And then what we did is we signed a 99-year lease that required both of our signatures in order for the house to be sold. So technically, the house is in my name. She don't need to be on it at all because the Khmer person that at the real estate agency is the other agent in a partnership.
And those are the things that brothers like you that are living overseas need to teach brothers like me that are seeking this type of knowledge. Like, it's not just, hey, I'm trying to move over here and do this, do that, for whatever the reasons are. Like, no, then you need to have some financial literacy. You need to understand the culture. You need to understand just the laws in the countries that you're interested in. You need to go visit. You need to understand.
It's actually harder to budget when you get here because you get caught up in the fact that I'm balling. You see what I'm saying? You get over here and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my rent is only this. And now all of a sudden you got all this disposable income. Because I know a lot of dudes that move here that still living paycheck to paycheck. Like they was living in the States because they increased their spending.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is that I also run into brothers that move over here that have this false idea of this utopia, right? I'm going to leave the West, I'm going to leave the Matrix, and I'm going to come into a situation where it's going to be perfect. And it's not. You're still dealing with a woman. Now, granted, she comes from a different culture.
Absolutely.
But she's still a woman.
Absolutely.
And not only that, but also she is a local woman. All it takes is her word, bruh. There are a gang of dudes over here that got themselves caught up in situations. Because you know what it is? What I've seen, Kevin, I've seen the perfect storm. And this is usually happens with older white men, right? From Europe and the US. They move to Cambodia. Now they talking to, dude, she might be like a 6 here, a 7, but she's cute, she's small, they ain't into the big booties and all of that, and she's really cute, and she got it.
Right.
He's sitting there letting her know how much money he get every month. They got a joint bank account, they got all of this, and slowly but surely, she's draining them. And the thing is when you move to a country like this, there's always a need. And I used to always make the joke. The cow is sick, the dog is sick, the mama's sick. Every goddamn day they come into your ass with a goddamn emergency. You see what I'm saying? So what I had to do, first of all, my girl has never seen my pay stubs. She don't know what the hell my direct deposit is because it's really not her business. But more importantly, me and her had to have a come to Jesus meeting. And I said, look, and I sat her down because she didn't understand the numbers. I said, baby, if I give you $20 a day and there are 30 days in a month, that's $600. Right? She looked at it.
Right? A lot of money over there.
I said, now the average Khmer makes 120 to, if they're doing good, they're making 200 a month.
Wow.
So now you expecting me to give you 3 times what the best Khmer person is making.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just sat there and looked at me. I said, baby, because money, I don't plant $100 bills in the backyard. You feel me? So what I had to start doing is I take $100 and I put $100 a week in the envelope, get it converted to Cambodian money, and say, look, this is the food money for the week. Learn to live with that.
And we need that kind of knowledge, man. Because I mean, there's brothers here too, man, that will move with their wives over to these other countries as well, and could live good. But it's just a matter of and getting back to the original question about the 5 and 10 years from now, where we're at now is hypergamy is just out of control. Like ideally, a man would get married, the wife would drive the car that the man can afford. She would live in the home that the man could afford. And she would be a helpmate to him, and they would grow together. You see what I'm saying? That's the idea. And then the idea would be if you want to move to another country, even if you're going to take a woman from the US there, they have to learn like, hey, it's not going to be the same.
No.
Some things are going to be different. We're not going to have the same amenities that we had before, but the pleasure of life itself can be so much better because the people so much better, the atmosphere is going to be better and things like that. And our money is going to stretch further and we can do more together. And in order for this thing to turn around, we need to understand that we can be better together than apart. This war of the sexes, man, we're not going to win it. It's just not. Because every time they're getting there blowing it, most of them, they're broke and they're scared because these women, they talking all this stuff about how much money they're getting, but man, I'm seeing it in real time, man. These women are introducing themselves in a polygamous relationships with these guys because they can't afford to pay their bills no more.
I was wondering why polygamy all of a sudden became this trending topic. I see more and more of it.
Yeah, because the government pulled the safety net from under everybody. There's no more money coming to this plant you up from not having a job and not going to go get a job. The COVID situation, that's over with out here now. So now the government's saying, hey, get back to work. But a lot of these jobs have gone satellite and gone over to other countries and stuff like that. And people were not preparing themselves. They were getting free money and just spending it. They were not getting ready. And a lot of them are ladies, man. The unemployment rate for women has gone up. The eviction rate for women has gone up and everything. And here in Georgia, you're from Atlanta. Here in Georgia, they're stopping. They have stopped taking Section 8 in a lot of places.
So these people are basically homeless.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I
So
saw
now
an indicator. It was Snap Finger Apartments or some indicator. They was kicking them all out. Because when I was in the Philippines, I was in Cebu, Lapu-Lapu, about an hour and a half south of Manila, and there was this area that I went to with my homeboy. And dude, when I sit back and I say, Kevin, it was brand new apartments. This is in the Philippines. Brand new apartments, brand new McDonald's, brand new, coffee shops and all of this shit. But I found out that this was where the call centers moved to. So now you had young, I'm talking about in the early 20s, Filipino women making great money for the Philippines, running call center managers. And the first thing that came to my mind was, where did these jobs come from? Because I met a dude that was there training them how to run the call center from the US. So it's almost like when Kevin Samuels, before he passed away, said, winter's coming.
This is what he's talking about. This is what he's talking about. It ain't coming no more. It's here, brother.
It's here. It's there.
It's here. See, you're in Cambodia, so you're not seeing it real time.
No, I came back last year for the first time in 3 years. I was in Atlanta for 9 months, and it was like total and complete culture shock for me. I hadn't been back in 3 years. I was in the A, like, oh my God, what is going on here? Because I hadn't been there for 3
Right.
years.
I drive trucks all over the country. That's what I do for a living. Brother, there are more women on the streets homeless than ever before in all the major cities. Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami,
Jerome, I agree with you, brother.
New
Real
York.
quick, I agree with you. The system is
Oh
set
yeah.
up to extract resources from men, give it to women via Zaddy government. Then she goes to Prada Gucci. Yeah, exactly. Because
Well,
black women are spending that discretionary income on stuff they don't need. And that all
and
goes back to not being covered. That
that's
goes back
why
to being uncovered.
yeah, that's why everything is set up like that. That's why the matriarchy is what's running the government, because the government gets money from taxes. Somebody's got to spend that money. And they realize men are likely to save money because we're thinking about investments and we're thinking about the long run. We know nobody's coming to save us. So we know we have to work. We know we have to get ourselves set up for success in the long run. Women, on the other hand, they don't think like that. Generally speaking, they don't think like that. So they'll spend every dime that they get. So the government's not interested in saving your household. They're interested in separating you from your money. So if we put the money in the hands of the woman via the court system and family court, we know they're going to spend it. We know they're going to spend it.
And to touch on that point real quick, I'll bring it back here to Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
What a lot of people don't realize is that during the Vietnam War, towards the end of the Vietnam War, if you look at a map, Thailand is here, Cambodia is here, Vietnam runs all along this side.
Right.
The Ho Chi Minh Trail from North Vietnam ran through parts of Laos, then it ran through parts of Cambodia into South Vietnam. So the United States dropped more munitions on Cambodia than the entire of all World War II.
What?
That's how much, because what would happen is this, it would be two things. Either they were trying to blow up the supply route for the Ho Chi Minh Trail, or
Right.
when that plane took off, it was full of fuel and it was full of bombs.
Right.
So when it went up north to do its thing, whether it dropped all of his bombs or whatever, so on the way back, they didn't want to land that plane fully armed.
Okay.
So they jettisoned the bombs over Cambodia.
Oh my God.
So now here in Cambodia, you have between 20 and 25,000 Khmer people are killed or injured from unexploded ordnance every year.
Oh my God.
My friend Bill Morse, he's a white guy from California, Vietnam vet. He runs the Landmine Museum. There's a Landmine Museum here in Siem Reap where they do education. They go out and show these, because what happens, bruh, is that you got a farmer out there working in the rice field, and and the kids especially, they'll run up on the little bomblet and think it's a toy. And they're throwing this to each other, blah, 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 boom, 3 or 4 kids killed. They're maimed. When you go to Angkor Wat to see the temples, they'll have these little bands, or you're on Pub Street at night. Everybody's an amputee. Everybody in this little band is an amputee. They're missing 1 or 2 legs or an arm, and they playing for this. And so what happened is, and I keep it short, what happened is that the Khmer Rouge were Cambodians that took over Cambodia in like 1973, I want to say it was, towards the end of the war. The Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot, these are Cambodians, took over Cambodians and had a genocide of over 2 million Cambodians that were killed by Cambodians. And what they did is they took anybody who wore glasses, if you had a degree, if you were a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, they killed you. If you were educated, they killed you. Cambodia right now ranks like 17th in the world, as 65% of Cambodia's population is under 35.
Oh, that's awful.
So Cambodia lost a generation. So
they need to repopulate.
So what happens is my girl is 42, 43. She remembers as a child the Khmer Rouge. right? She was a little girl. Like if you watch that movie on Netflix, First They Killed My Father by Angelina Jolie. The movie is they speak in Khmer, but it has American subtitles. It's called First They Killed My Father. It talks about it's a very moving movie. But what it did for the Khmer people, which works in a good and bad way, Khmer people only live for today. You understand? They don't think about the future because they were raised in such an environment where tomorrow wasn't promised for them.
Okay.
So you're not going to see the big double-decker refrigerator full of frozen foods. They're going to go to the market every day. They're going to get fresh food. They're going to cook it that day. Then they're going to go back to the market the next day. They're not big on savings accounts. They're not big on, some of the upper class. I mean, like you go to Phnom Penh, they got an Aston Martin dealership. They got a Lamborghini. They got Ferrari. But that's for the wealth gap is like that big. The top 2% and everybody else poor as hell. But like my girl, dude, I gave her $12 the other day to go to the market. She came back with like goddamn 12 bags full of shit. I was like, goddamn. And she like, oh, baby, we'll go into the Angkor market, which is like the Western market. And I'm like, I want Cheetos, I want Pringles, I want some gummy bears. She said, baby, those Pringles, $5. That's too much, too expensive. And I think that what gets lost in the translation of all of that submissive stuff is that what these foreign women consider a good life is completely different from the West.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by the hypergamy. It's out of control. What it is just we're in a environment now where it's like always wanting more, and never stopping to smell the roses and enjoy what you have.
Bro, I don't have a car here. I had a BMW M5 in Atlanta.
Right.
that car was part of my goddamn identity. Even though every time I took that goddamn thing to Natalie BMW, they was raping me. Every time I went down there. I'm talking about, dude, I'm paying damn near $175 for a goddamn oil change. You know what I'm saying? Transmission, all of this shit, tires, low profile. But then when I got rid of that car and I moved to Cambodia, where a car is a luxury.
Right. And it's a completely different life.
I don't own a car here. I don't have a car payment. I ain't got no goddamn insurance.
Man.
I call her tuk-tuk. When I'm coming back. Where are you in Georgia?
In Albany. Remember Albany?
Yeah.
Man, you had me cracking up laughing when you said that.
I had a brother-in-law that went to Albany State.
That's exactly
you
how they
75 South and you make that right.
Right.
Highway 70, is that what it is?
This is what exit we got? 62. It's a couple of there's 300. You can come down.
I think it's 300 right off 75.
Yep. Go straight for 45 minutes. Yep.
It's pecan trees. Oh,
thousands of them.
Albany. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna come see because I'm coming back in May. My daughter goes, but the thing is, when I got here, this is what I realized, Kevin. I was arrogant. I was arrogant. I was arrogant as fuck. I was entitled and I was spoiled. My first apartment that I got here in Cambodia, they said $100 a month for this apartment, 1 bedroom, had an air con. I didn't ask, did it have hot water?
Right.
I didn't ask, did they have a refrigerator?
Man,
I didn't ask, did they have a stove? I'm cooking on one little gas burner with a styrofoam cooler with ice in it. That's starting to realize, but goddamn. But you know what I'm starting to realize now? Less is more.
Yes, man. Look, let me say this real quick. You ever wonder why you see people in quote unquote poor places, quote unquote, but they're happier than we are, and we got everything. That's what you're experiencing. That's what you're experiencing. The simple life is the best life.
I ride my bike. Tonle Sap, the largest lake in Asia, is about 20 minutes from my house. I got a mountain bike. I get up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I ride the bike out to Tunley Sap. Now and there's a temple out there, Panang Krum, but then there's a village, Panang Krum Village. I'm riding through the village, and I'm literally looking at these houses that are built on stilts, because of the rainy season.
Right. We got those in South Florida.
Yeah. So I'm literally looking through the house.
Right.
I can see, and I see this lady because they love the hammocks here. So she's laying on a hammock, breastfeeding the baby.
Okay.
They got one light bulb hanging down, and they got a well. They don't even have running water. They got a well.
Right.
And the little girl is out there getting the water from the well. And I ride by, bruh, and that lady got the biggest smile on her face. And she's just waving at me. Sister, good morning. How are you? And I'm just sitting there like, who's really wealthy? Who's really wealthy? When I went back to Atlanta, I asked my homeboy in Atlanta, I said, dude, are you happy? Oh, nigga, I got this brand new Benz. I got the country club, man. I'm living in this gated community. I said, nigga, that's not what I asked you. I said, are you happy? And he wasn't. You hit the nail on the head. These people here have been through so much where they didn't even, it's almost like, and see, it's some crazy shit that I've learned in these 5 years. I go down on Puff Street and there's a little food stall where they selling like bugs, right? So, all of the foreigners like, oh, I'm gonna eat a cricket, I'm gonna eat a scorpion, I'm gonna eat, snake and all of this. But then for my New Year, which is coming up, I go with Siem. She takes me out to the province where she grew up in a 1-bedroom house with 9 people in it. No aircon, no running water, no electricity, really.
Right.
And I found out that when the Khmer Rouge was killing people, that's what they survived off of.
Man.
The beetles, the caterpillars, the tarantulas, the snakes. So yeah, that's novelty food to the tourists.
Yeah, it's novelty to us, but that's survival food for them. So we need to have more honor and respect for that. And those are the things we need to learn.
Me and her were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. We had to move, and before I came back from Atlanta, the same guy said, Ed, these houses, I said, we need a house because, my dogs, I got a lab and another dog. And I said, we need a bigger house because her kids were living in a different place from us. And he said, look, Ed, I got you a place. It's 5-bedroom, 5 baths. I said, what? He said, it's really 4 stories because the top stories got your water tanks and your water purification. He said, but then there's a 1-bedroom studio apartment with a big deck outside. And that's a studio apartment with a separate entrance. And then the main house has 4 bedrooms, and each bedroom has a full bath.
Right.
And I said, well, how much is the rent on this mother? And he said, Ed, it was $750, but I got it for you for $650 a month. He said, you got a full, you can go on Ed Travels. You can go on Ed Travels. I did a video where I showed the whole house. $650. He said, Ed, and on top of that, I got them to drop the security deposit. All you got to pay is $1,300 to move in.
Man.
$40 a month for this lady. She comes every Monday, every Tuesday. This Khmer lady comes in the yard. She cleans. I got a long driveway. She cleans the driveway. I got a big entertainment area, big patio with a 10-foot bar. I got another. I mean, it's a complex, right?
Right.
It's $650. And then when I told Siem, I said, Siem, go down there, sign the lease. I've already wired the money. You know what she told me? Baby.
Too much money?
$650, that's too much. I said, baby, I went on Zwillow.
You went out. Your mic went out on you. Yeah. Oh, they still hadn't come back in. I see it trying to light up over there. Let me make sure it's not me. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good Lord. Can you hear me? Let me see if I could.
All right, I'm back. One, two, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, but like for the guy, let me go over here to the comments while he comes back. Yeah, right, Rubber Band Man. Less is more. Yeah, less is more. We live to manage things and gadgets that control us in the West. It seems other countries that have less actually. Yes, you're right. You're right, Jerome, and you're right, Rubber Band Man. Less is more. You know, when me and her moved into this house, she just kept saying to me over and over, "Baby, it's too much money. It's too much money." You know, when I went up to Phnom Penh and I went to the killing fields, and I went to, I went to the killing fields. You back? And I went to the killing fields in Phnom Penh, and I saw a building that was at least 1 story high of nothing but skulls.
Right.
Skulls and bones. Because what they did with the Khmer Rouge is they were fighting the Vietnamese, the Vietnamese at the same time. So they didn't want to use the bullets to kill people, so they just hit them in the head with pickaxes.
Wow.
And then they had this one tree at the killing fields. There was this one tree, a couple 100 years old, big old tree that had all of these ribbons on it. And I asked the guide, why are there ribbons on this tree? He said, well, that's the baby tree. I said, what? He said, the way they killed the babies was grab them by the ankles and slam them up against the tree. And I sat there and I told my guide, Kevin, I said, look here, bro. I said, I'm done with this tour. I need a drink.
Oh my God.
I'm done with this tour. And what it did is when I watched that movie, because first of all, Angelina Jolie is loved here because there's a temple. And dude, it's only like 20 minutes from my house in Angkor Wat Archaeological Park. It's called Tap Ram. And it has these trees growing through it, right? That temple
Yes, sir.
was the temple that they used in the movie Tomb Raider. When she was in the temple.
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in that. They were in that. That's where it was, and that was the first major production movie ever made in Cambodia. When I first got here in Siem Reap, I saw Angelina Jolie. You couldn't miss her. The goddamn entourage was unbelievable. But they love her. They gave her citizenship and all that. But I saw that movie, dude, and I ain't gonna lie, Kevin. I was staying at this guest house called the Dancing Frog. I love that video. That dude be getting his party on. But I I watched the movie, and the movie basically, and I met the lady who the little girl was in the movie. Her name is Lao Ong. I met her at a book signing here.
Okay.
But basically the movie is her father and the whole family gets moved out to the countryside, and her sister dies, and then they kill her father, and it's a sad goddamn movie. And what messed me up about the movie was the first time I saw the movie was about the genocide in Cambodia, and I was in Cambodia watching the goddamn movie. I was in Cambodia. So when I walk out the guest house, dude, I got tears running down my face. And I walked downstairs to the front desk, and the lady said, baby, what's wrong with you? She said, what's wrong with you? I said, I had no idea. I said, I had no idea that Khmer people went through all this. And she said, baby, why you cry? I said, it's sad as fuck. That's why I'm crying. She said, but it's over now. Be happy. I said,
Man,
what? She said, it's over now. Be happy. And I just sat there, man. And I mean, I've had those experiences where when I went to Sims Village, they got these I don't know where it is, but they got
I don't
these
blame you,
red
Jerome.
scarves. They got these red and white checkered scarves that the Khmer Rouge used to wear.
Right.
And I met this guy, and he said, we had Sim was interpreting, and he was an older guy, and he said, I used to be in the Khmer Rouge. They still around.
Mm.
And he said, I killed my own people. And he started crying. He said, I feel bad about it. I said, well, I'm a soldier. I know exactly how you feel, this and that. And then he handed me that scarf that he wore during the genocide. And he said, I want you to have this.
Right.
And bruh, I started to realize that we got so much more in common. Yeah, Austin did tour that place today. I'm just telling you this. It's not just the killing fields, Jerome. There's this place called S21. And that was a high school they turned into a torture place, which is even worse. But I think the killing fields. Yeah. The Khmer people, the Khmer Empire used to encompass almost 3/4 of Thailand and all of Vietnam. That's how big the Khmer Empire was. But I said all this to say that once you get here and you start to learn the culture and you learn the people, you start to realize how fucking arrogant we are, how entitled we are.
Yep.
You don't need all of this. You don't need all of this stuff that we have. And what I'm blessed about Cambodia so far is that westernized mentality hasn't soaked into this society in a major way. You understand?
I think
the top 1 or 2% it has, because they got the money.
I think the passport bros are going to bring that rich history from all these different places to America.
They should.
Yeah. These people are going to have more respect and more appreciation for the things and amenities that we have here. And I think it's going to Fruits is calling. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to change Black America for the better.
It needs to. I think we need a reconnection back to our culture or some sort of culture. When these people were talking about just pearly things and we need to be gatekeepers, how the fuck are you going to be a gatekeeper on a gate you don't own? When we've assimilated and integrated into the white, we don't own a gate. How are you going to be a gatekeeper? How are we going to do that?
We don't truly have a culture.
We don't. Exactly. My name is Edward Wanambwa. My last name is Wanambwa. I was born in Jinja, Uganda, East Africa.
Okay.
I lived there till I was 7 years old. I didn't come to the U.S. till 1977. So I am first generation African. I know where,
wow.
We're from Mount Elgon, the Bugisu tribe. Our village was Buta. So, I'm first generation.
So
and
you were born to a culture. You were born to a culture.
I know my culture. All of my children, I have 4 kids. I was married twice, 2 kids each. What I've done is I made sure that all of my kids have my last name.
Okay.
All of my kids have my last name. And what I'm doing when my daughter graduates from college in May,
okay,
I'm flying her and my son to Cambodia. And I'm going to say, look, I want you to go out with Sim's dog with these girls. I want you to get in this tuk-tuk with me, and I'm going to show you how these people really live, and I'm going to show you how arrogant you are, right? Because there's a difference between stupidity and ignorance.
Correct.
When I went to a 5-star restaurant for the first time, I didn't know why the fuck I had all of these knives and spoons and forks. I had no idea what all of these. Damn, Golden Corral don't have all this shit. Why I need it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it wasn't until a white dude was sitting next to me that looked at me. He said, "You having some problems there, buddy?" I said, "Yeah, man. It's kind of intense. And he said, "Look, bro, start from the outside and work your way in." So I can forgive ignorance. I can forgive ignorance. But I'm with you, Kevin. Back to your point. I'm with you. I think that when we start, like, you know what made me feel good is going to Atlanta, and up off 85 in Gwinnett County, up near Steve Reynolds.
Yes.
They got the Korean restaurants. They got, all the, Korean barbecues in Gwinnett. Well, they got Cambodian restaurants. They got Cambodian restaurants. So when I went back, I went
Hey, look,
to a
I'm about to go
Cambodian restaurant, and I
and check
walked
that
in.
out.
And I walked in. She said, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "Sosday," which is the informal way of saying hello. And the woman just looked at me. I said, "Sosday." I said, "Chumrip Sur." Chumrip Sur is the more proper when you're talking to an older person. Chumrip Sur, like, and she said, "You speak Khmer?" And then I looked at her, I said, "Nyum," which means me. Yum yo Khmer tik tik. Like, I speak Khmer a little bit.
A little
And that
bit.
woman,
Okay.
like, that woman said, "Oh my God." She said,
Yeah.
"You learning my language. You live in Siem Reap. You respect my culture."
Bingo.
Now, what did that do to maybe help her change her view of the black people she's seen in Atlanta?
Come on, man. That's it. And that's what we need to be learning. That's what we need to be learning, culture, man. Because we truly, as American descendants of slaves, we don't have a culture. That's why we're all over the place, man. Just doing crazy stuff, brother. Crazy stuff. So you were born in Africa. You have a culture that is a foundation for you. We don't have a foundation. That's why everything that we create gets co-opted by another culture
It's
because we
adopted.
don't have a foundation. Yeah, we don't have a foundation, and we need that, man. And brothers like you, man. I'm 46 years old. And you're older than me, man. And I look at brothers like you, and you give me hope for the future. You give me hope for the future for my children. You give me hope that we can be better, but we can't be better doing the same stuff that we're doing now. We can't.
I
We
mean,
can't.
Kevin,
We got we
it's such a blessing to talk. It's such a blessing to get to know you. Come down to Albany. We can kick it.
man,
And the thing, bro,
man.
the thing is that I wish that I would have been. Well, I was in the military, so I was traveling, but it was for other reasons. But if I could have had the opportunity that Austin Holloman has now at his age,
Man, that brother
bro,
there.
and I really, he was just here in Phnom Penh. I did that reaction video to him. I tried to reach out to him to just sit back and say, you know what, bro? Like I know you pump your brakes a bit.
Yeah,
Listen to our old ancestor Rakim. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
that's right. That's right.
Because
Hey,
because
man, young folk don't know nothing about no Rakim, man.
that ain't no joke. Microphone fiend. I mean, if they don't realize that here in Cambodia, they watching your social media, they know what you're saying. And if you come on there and you start talking about walking street and you talking about girly bar, dude, they watching you. They watching you. It's not that type of society. And it's
That's
like my
that.
grandmama used to,
That's that
and I know
youth.
your grandmama probably used to tell you the same thing. I don't give a damn if it was a family member's house we were going to. My grandmama would turn around in that car and say, "You don't want nothing. You don't touch nothing. You don't ask for nothing. You better act
That's
like you
right.
got some goddamn sense before you go in here." And I try
That's
to
right.
tell people, I asked this young brother, I saw them wilding out the other night at Temple Bar, the rooftop, young brothers in there wilding out. I said, "Come here for a minute, man."
Okay.
Because you got to be careful how you approach these young. I said, "Come here, man." I
Correct.
said, "Look, bro." I said, "When you landed here in Siem Reap, did you go through immigration?" Of course, I know the answer. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, I went through
Right.
immigration. I said, no. I said, what you did is you went through two different counters. The first counter you went to was the visa counter. That's where they
Mm-hmm.
actually put the Kingdom Cambodian visa in your passport.
Right.
And then you go to immigration, and then they let you through to go to baggage claim. I said,
Okay.
now that I got a retirement visa, I ain't got to go to that first desk. I just go straight to immigration.
Right.
I said, why did you need a visa? And he just looked at me. Well, I said, because you're not Cambodian.
Right.
You're not Khmer. And that piece of paper says they letting your black ass into this country.
Right. You got
And
a
they
hall
can
pass.
keep you out. It's a hall pass. And they can keep you out if you coming in here. I said, dude, Cambodia ain't the place you pop bottles. I don't know of a single bar in Siem Reap that you get bottle service. It ain't a thing here, bruh. Because they sitting there arguing with the bartender about why they can't buy the whole bottle. And the bartender looking at them like, what the hell are you talking about? In Colombia, you can do that. Medellin, it's a thing. I said, listen, dude, bro, where the strip clubs and stuff? I said, look, nigga, you not in Chicago.
Yeah.
You're not in New Orleans. You're not in Atlanta. Ain't no Magic City in Cambodia. I said, but what you do is you represent me.
Yep.
Now, when I walk around that same bar, I can look at a brother that's about my age, and he'll just look at me with, do the little head nod. What's up, hey,
Right.
man? I'm from the A, or I'm from Virginia, I'm from DC, or whatever. And what I try to tell these young dudes is there's a responsibility that comes with that travel.
Right.
But Kevin, man, I hate to cut it. We've been on 3 hours, but I got the tip, bro.
Man, do your thing, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time, man. I hope to come on again another time, man. But I really
You
appreciate
always
what you're doing.
welcome here, man. Hit
I
me up.
appreciate it, man.
Let's stay in touch. I'm gonna do you have WhatsApp?
No, I don't. I'm not real big on social media, man. I just got back on Facebook, but I have your email. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna email you all my personal information, so you'll have my
Do that,
number.
bro.
So
Hey,
when
man,
you're in town, let me know. Give me about
I'll be back
a week.
I'll be back the first week of May because my daughter,
Okay.
she's in North Carolina and she graduates the second week. But I got like VA stuff to do, but I got a car, all that, so we can link up. All right, bro.
All right,
Have a
brother.
good night, man. Take it easy.
You
Much
too.
love, man.
Much love to you, brother.
All right, man. Hey, y'all. 3 hours and 21 minutes, 22-minute live. I'm gonna be coming back. Hey, matter of fact, tonight, I'm gonna film it tonight. So you guys can watch it real time. But I'm gonna go live tonight on Pub Street. Somebody who saw the live wants me to do a live outside the studio. So I'm gonna do a live tonight. Tonight, I'm doing a live. It's gonna be probably in the morning. You can probably catch the replay because I'm technically 12 hours, 11 hours ahead of you. So tonight, 9 or 10 o'clock is going to be 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much to my airborne brothers. Airborne all the way. Keep your feet and knees together. This is Ed from Ed Travel. To my passport bros, make good decisions. Be safe. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Lehigh. I got one more comment. Hey, Jerome, enjoy your day too, sir. Thanks a lot, homie. Peace.